Mute. I'm not muted. I'm not muted. Here. Is that better? Okay. I wasn't muted. It wasn't connected to my mic for whatever. I don't know why. Um, but yeah. Well, okay. So we're here. Sound now. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know what that was about, but very obnoxious. Anyway, who day? Who day? Must win today. I mean, pretty much every game's a must win at this point. We've got 8 losses on the season already, so if there's any hope, we gotta win out. And winning out, you got more hope this year because like you won out last year. You're like, well, if there's any hope, you got to win out, and then you did win out, and that was awesome. But you know, last year was like, if you maybe have a shot of making the wild card if you get lucky. This year it's like, I mean, you got to get some help from the Steelers and Ravens. Sort of. I mean, you still got a game left against the Ravens, but like you got to get a little bit of help from the Steelers' schedule. But the Steelers have a tough schedule, and the AFC North is on the table right now. So, um, so you got to win today. You got to keep winning. Beating the Bills is, I think, proof of concept that winning out is possible because that's the toughest schedule. This is arguably this is the only like particularly good team we have left on our schedule. Like I mean, there's the Ravens, who are the AFC North division leaders right now. Funnily enough, but there's the Ravens. The Ravens are a good football team. Arguably, they're also a very inconsistent and weird football team. So today the Ravens and the Steelers play each other. So either way, if the Bengals win today, they're getting help, and they're also getting hurt at the same time. So like if they win today, they're 5-8, and whoever wins between the Steelers and the Ravens will be 7-6. So the Bengals will remain 2 games behind. And they'll still be a game behind. Let's see, 5-8 would be 6-7. Yeah. So the Bengals would still be a game behind third place, or in third place. They'd be a game behind second place if they win today. But if they win today, they will be getting help from whoever wins between the Ravens and the Steelers. And personally, I hope that the Ravens win because we don't play the Steelers anymore this year. We do have one more game left against the Ravens, and we got to win out anyway. We got to win that Ravens game. So it's like if we're gonna do it, you have to beat the Ravens. So I'm just assuming that, as far as like any scenarios go or whatever, we're assuming we're going to beat the Ravens, right? Not because I know we're going to beat the Ravens, but because if we don't beat the Ravens, none of this works anyway. So just assuming we beat the Ravens, it's probably better if the Ravens win today. That way, the Steelers we basically just gotta. I think they got to lose one more game, and then we'll tie with them, and then I think we'll probably have the tiebreaker if we beat the Ravens, right? Like, the head-to-head record with them is, 1-1. So, I think it would be division record at that point. And our division record, I think, should be better as long as we beat the Ravens and the Browns. Beating the Browns should be, a gimme, but as we know with the Bengals, it's not always. But yeah, point being, you gotta pay attention to what's ahead of you. It is a snowy day in Buffalo today, and that's always fun when you got a snow game between these two teams. Now the Bengals will be without Trey Hendrickson, but the Bills will be without Joey Bosa. So I feel that that's relatively. I feel that that's relatively equaled out. Like Joey Bosa has been a real big pickup for. Oh God, what happened to my fucking thing? Okay, here we go. Joey Bosa has been arguably as helpful for the Bills as Trey Hendrickson has when he's been on the field for the Bengals. And Trey Hendrickson hasn't played the last couple of weeks, and the defense has improved, which is wild to say, but it is true. Let me turn that down a little bit. I think that was just a little bit. I don't know. Yeah, maybe if I just move that. Okay, I just don't want to have my face totally completely lit up like that, but all right. Well, anyway, the Bengals are going to get the ball first. So the Bills going to kick it off. It's going to be returned from about the 3-yard line and gets a bit of a hole, not a whole lot. Gets out to about the 33-yard line, so it turns into a pretty decent kick return for Charlie Jones there. Saw Taj Brooks taking some returns today. Excited to see him. I don't think you're going to see a whole lot of Taj Brooks returning kicks because like the Bengals like Charlie Jones, and I like Charlie Jones. Like let me see if I can move that down a little bit. I don't know if that's going to work. It's just that's kind of in front of my face. There we go. Is that better? I think that's a little bit better. Got too much of the mirror there, but I don't know. All right, Joe Burrow's going to hand the ball off Chase Brown, and he, nice little run there. Didn't have a whole lot to work with, but he kept his legs moving, picked up about 4 yards, and I'll take 4 yards. I'll take 4 yards every time, right? You'll take 4 yards every time, unless you're a Bills fan like Connor, which, you know, you're allowed to root for who you root for, Connor, but I hope your team loses badly today. How about we put the comments down here? That way it doesn't have a danger of getting in my face. I don't know if I like that as much from like a visual standpoint, but it's not in front of my face. Chase Brown's going to get the pitch to the left, and the Bills swallow that one up. He manages to get about 2 yards, but that did not work out in the Bengals' favor on that one. Yeah, me versus you, kind of Connor. The difference is like, you know, I don't think you guys are winning your division at this point, but you're probably making the playoffs. So, like, maybe you can just let us have this one, you know? Rooting for a tie in the Ratbirds Squealers game. I think I want the Ravens to win. A tie would be, I think, relatively acceptable. Jim, Bengals not make the playoffs with that horrible defense. Defense has been a little bit better. Joe Burrow takes a shotgun snap. He's going to throw. He's got nice catch there by T. Higgins. He does bobble a little bit, but you know, through the cold manages and through the contact manages to bring that ball down. Nice job. No predictions. I did have a prediction. Unfortunately, I think when you popped up, Jim, I don't know why my overlay was shifted in a weird way. So that's why the prediction was probably not visible when you got here. But I did on the podcast. I guaranteed the Bengals would win this game. So beautiful block by Sample on the kickoff. Didn't see that. Yeah, you're fine. I figured you were here when the prediction had was. I don't know how it shifted, but it did. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. He throws to T. Higgins. He's got plenty of time to throw, and that's another catch for a first down. The Bengals offense is moving. Gotta love it. Got to love it. Absolutely adore watching this Bengals offense operate with Joe Burrow at quarterback. And don't get me wrong, Joe Flacco did a good job. Like give credit to Joe Flacco for doing a good job for the Bengals in Joe Burrow's stead. Did a hell of a lot better than Jake Browning did, and we actually won a game with him, which is more than we were going to do with Jake Browning. But yeah, it's different with Joe Burrow. All right, and he's going to throw it short to Chase Brown, and that didn't work out at all. Larry Ogunjobi is apparently on the Bills. I did not know that Larry Ogunjobi was on the Bills, so you know, an old face there helped us get to the Super Bowl, and I really wish the Bengals would have re-signed him, but I kind of get why they didn't. I mean, well, I got the thought process of why they didn't. It would, you know, retrospectively, it's like that was a dumb idea. And at the time, I thought it was, you know, a dumb idea. But I kind of get what they were thinking. Like, it just didn't work out. And it's going to be a handoff this time to Chase Brown, who, there you go, keeps his legs moving. And I think he's eventually going to lose forward progress after about a 3-yard pickup. So not an amazing run or anything, but, you know, it's okay. There is a flag on the play after the fact, though. So what is the flag? That flag came in a little late, so I'm wondering if this is on the Bills. I got that camera really kind of heavy on the Bills there. Must have waved the flag off, though, because it's 3rd and 6. Or I wonder if maybe it was on the Bengals and it just got declined. I don't know. It looked like it was going to be on the Bills, though, with the way that the camera was centering on them. But, you know, don't forget I watch all these games on mute, so I don't know exactly what the referees are going to say. I got to rely on the graphics on screen and maybe a little bit of lip reading. But anyway, it's 3rd and 6. Bengals are basically in field goal range here, but going to throw it short to Samaje Perine, who manages to keep his legs moving, picks up the first down, fighting for it, and good Lord, I love Samaje Perine, dude. Perine got that dog. He sure does, stranger. I think you might be slightly ahead of me, so apologies if I say anything that you already are aware of. But P. Ryan got that dog. That's for sure. He is a damn good football player, and I love that he's back on the team because it's like he's picking up right where he left off. And I was never the biggest like we gotta keep Samaje Perine under all circumstances person, but he has certainly proved me wrong quite a few times. Shotgun formation. Joe Burrow is gonna hand the ball off Chase Brown. Basically nowhere to go with it. Runs into a bunch of players. Gets about maybe a yard. TD Vikings lead 7-0 over Washington. Yep. I don't remember who I picked to win that game. But I could really see that one going either way. Commanders have been struggling lately. Played well against the Broncos, but everybody plays well against the Broncos, and then the Broncos win. That's how the Broncos' whole season's gone. They're a weird football team. All right. 2nd and 9. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. Looks around, throws. Oh, man, off the hands of Yoshi, who had a first down. Damn, dude. Damn, Yoshi. There's a lot of instances, I think, this year of why we've seen that Yoshi is definitely, there's a reason why he's the 4th string wide receiver, and, well, I guess 3rd string, but there's a reason why, he was a 6th round draft pick, because Yoshi has not been, super reliable this year. He's been good, when he gets the ball, but, a lot of times he just misses it, or he just completely flubs it. But, he's still a talented player. Shotgun snap for Joe Burrow. Once again, good time to throw. And this time, Yoshi does catch it, and he gets ahead for the first down. He had room to run, and I think that was just busted coverage on the Bills' part. Or it might have been zone coverage, and Joe Burrow just found the seam. Let's see. Yeah, I think that... Well, no. No, I think... It might have been zone coverage, but Tre'Davious White was supposed to... I think Tre'Davious White was supposed to be covering him and just ran the wrong direction. So I don't know if that was man or zone. It looked like it was mostly zone. I don't know if Trey White was in zone or not. All right. Joe Burrow is now under center, 1st and 10. And it's going to be a handoff to P. Ryan. And once again, that man keeps his legs moving no matter what happens. And only picks up like 3 or 4 yards, but that's 3 or 4 yards that other guys, especially former Bengals players who will not be named, but would have gone down on first contact. Hey mom, that's my mom, everybody. My mom's here. What's going on, mom? Touchdown, Miami leads 7-0. Who's Miami playing? Oh, the Jets. I have no opinion about that. The Saints are winning, though, 7-0. Bet Mikey's happy. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap, throws. He's got T. Higgins, who secures it. And with forward progress, that'll be 3rd and 1. I wonder what they're going to give him here. It depends on wherever they say that he, secured the ball. They are saying 3rd and 1, so that's good to see. Looks like I'm 30 seconds ahead. I'll wait to post. Yep. I'm not saying, what you should do with your life, stranger. But when, I have found that, when I'm watching somebody, I'll like Tom Grossi, if I'm ahead of him, I'll pause Tom, or I'll pause the game stream and then kind of sync it up. I used to do that all the time with, Dave Lapham and Dan Horde. You do whatever you want, but that's just, I think that'd be that's always the way I've envisioned people watching my show. So, that's kind of the reason why I do it that format. Samaje Perine gets the handoff, and I love watching that dude run short yardage. I'd rather watch, Chase Brown run for a touchdown. But, if I'm going to watch a short yardage run, I'd rather watch Samaje Perine do a short yardage run because that dude always keeps his legs moving. I'll answer your question here in a second, Jay. Looks like my mom already slightly answered there, though. Chase Brown dances around in the backfield, and he creates his own seam. Might have gotten in the end zone. Let's see. The broadcast calling it a touchdown. I didn't see the refs make a signal. It appears to be a touchdown. All right, let's go. Let's go. I mean, I was thinking they might call forward progress, but he did keep moving, and he did eventually slip in. I did not see where his knee went down, so Yeah, oh no, he stayed up that whole time. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I was talking about Samaje Perine doing stuff like that, but like, here's Chase Brown doing it. Samaje Perine does it more often, but damn. Damn right, statement drive. That's right, stranger. All right, and the extra point is up. The Bengals take a 7-0 lead over the Buffalo Bills. Now let's see if the defense can do anything, because I was expecting the offense to come out and be good. That's, our offense is already, our offense is good without Joe Burrow, but our offense is like special with Joe Burrow. I have not been keeping up enough with the Bills to know what their defense is like this year, though. Looks like about average. They're about 19th in the league per PFF. Their tackling is worse than the Bengals, so that's worth like. It's hard to be worse than the Bengals at tackling, but the Bengals are 5th in the NFL as far as being graded by PFF. The Bengals are actually only 5th worst in the NFL. They're ahead of the Saints, which makes sense. The Bills, which I just told you, the Raiders, which makes sense, and the Cardinals, which makes sense. Now, the Cardinals are the worst in the NFL at it, apparently. But it is a little strange to see a contending team with a worse tackling result than the Bengals have this year. Interesting that the Bills have the 19th ranked defense despite having such abysmal tackling, and apparently the Saints have the 18th ranked defense, so that's worth noting. The Bills have a pretty good pass rush, which has a lot to do with Joey Bosa, by the way. So that could be worth noting. The Bengals pass rush is like 26th in the NFL, so not very good. A lot of that probably has to do with Trey Hendrickson not being in there, but the last couple of weeks the Bengals pass rush has actually been a little bit better. So if they're getting their stride, then I'd just say whoever we're playing, watch out. Now we'll see what the defense actually does against the Bills here, but I'm weirdly, I'd never thought I'd be excited to watch the defense play. And I can't say I'm expecting like big things or whatever, but I guess when I say excited, I'm just interested to see what they do. I'm curious because they have been playing better, and it's without Trey Hendrickson, and like it would be phenomenal if they could figure out how to play well without Trey Hendrickson, because I guarantee you he ain't coming back next year. Like he's gone. He's already, I think, quit on the team. I think we can all kind of agree that Trey Hendrickson has completely quit on the team at this point, and next man up. And I didn't think it was going to happen, but the next men up have actually come through a little bit. How was your Thanksgiving? Today's lunch is Subway turkey. That's not Thanksgiving. With a free pack of chocolate chip cookies. What y'all munching on? So I got like a chicken shrimp like Asian rice style thing. It's kind of like fried rice. It's not really fried rice though. It's like a meal box thing, but it's pretty tasty. Hold on. Kickoff is away, and that's going to be returned from about the 3-yard line to the 20, 22. That's where he gets taken down. Bengals special teams does a good job. Better job than the Bills special teams did. How was our Thanksgiving? Well, mine was busy. Mine was extremely busy. That was like, I did a lot for Thanksgiving, as my mom mentioned. I grilled, I smoked a duck and a turkey. I had like this whole charcuterie board. It was a lot, but I kind of enjoyed it. And we had a lot of leftovers after the fact. Our fridge, we had too many leftovers. Our fridge was not happy with us. All right, so Josh Allen's going to throw shotgun. Wow, completely, absolutely, abysmally busted coverage on that play. And it's like a 50-yard shot right out the gate. Well, I said I was excited to watch the defense. And, again, I think I meant curious, not excited. And, I guess I got my answer. TJ Slayton had a nice little pass rush there, though. Not really enough, but, like against Josh Allen, you got to be a little bit more on the ball. But just the TD game is far from over. What, our game? Yeah, duh. It's the first quarter. Well, of course it's far from over. I'm just excited to see the offense playing well. Defense probably going to give a touchdown on this drive. Although they did stop James Cook for only about a yard on that play. So that's good to see. Trey, in my mind, triggers a song. The Hey, hey, hey. Yeah. Yeah, you know, I have a lot of opinions about the whole Trey Hendrickson situation. I do think he kind of quit on the team, but I do kind of blame the Bengals. Obviously you blame Trey Hendrickson for making that type of decision, but I think the Bengals kind of asked for it, to be honest with you. Josh Allen, shotgun snap, rolls all the way back, and he throws it short. Good Lord, and the Bengals just let him, plow forward for a first down. That was Johnson on the dump-off pass, and the Bengals just don't... I think they just don't cover the dump-off pass, because, it kills us all the damn time, man. Is that Duke Johnson? I feel like Duke Johnson's on the Bills, right? So that might be Duke Johnson. Oh, it's Ty Johnson. Okay, I'm wrong. Blame Trey's agent. I don't think it's all Trey's agent. All right, so Ty Johnson takes the handoff, and he had a clear path to the end zone, and he tripped on, I think, the snow. He's pissed too, because he was gone, man. Bengals lucked out on him falling. He still got a big run. It was like a 20-yard, 25-yard run, but luckily he tripped and fell. That's a lucky break. That Bengals defense needs to feel absolutely disgusting about themselves right now, because that's unacceptable. They do a better job on that play. Still let him get 3 yards, despite the fact that they got him at the line of scrimmage. But that was not Ty Johnson. That was a different guy, I think. As far as Trey's agent goes, I don't think it's Trey's agent because, it might be partly Trey's agent and Trey kind of conspiring together to do all this stuff. But, Trey has been very vocal about everything. Trey has been, on top of making it absolutely clear that he's unhappy. And, the trade request may have started with his agent, but the way he talks to the media, the way he posts on Instagram and stuff, you can tell Trey is, a lot of that's Trey, man. All right, it's going to be a toss, quick toss to number 13 there, Gabe Davis. And it's going to be about a 4 or 5 yard catch before he gets stopped short of the first down marker. It's going to be 3rd and 1. All right, if we can hold him to a field goal, that'd be really good. Be better than what I'm expecting on this drive. My daughter-in-law also was busy. That stuff was awesome. Oh, yeah, my wife. Yes, she was. We were all very busy at this house. Even Murphy was kind of busy. In as much as we're a 10-year-old's going to be busy doing anything like that. But Trey would want to leave this pathetic defense and play for a real team. Nice! Josh Allen tries to keep it on the option play, and the Bengals get him in the backfield, and they are going to indeed hold this Bills offense to a field goal attempt, I assume, unless they go for it. But I would assume after a play like that, they would just kind of, they wouldn't test fate. I would think, nice job by Joseph Osai to wrap him up and not bite on the option. Joseph Osai has been a guy who has definitely been stepping up without Trey. Not completely, replacing Trey by any means. There's no replacing Trey Hendrickson unless you get Micah Parsons, right? And we weren't going to trade for Micah Parsons. That was never happening. Matt Prater's kick is good, and so the Bengals defense does their job. Not very well, but they do their job by holding the Bills to a field goal. And so basically, from this point through the rest of the game, if we can just outscore them, we're going to be good. Now, that requires perfect offense the rest of the game, but they looked pretty good on that first drive. We'll see what happens. I will say we did get the ball first, so the Bills will get the ball second. So we'll have to kind of strategically do it so that we don't let them double up on us. But, right now, just got to outscore them. Whether that's going to happen or not, I don't know. But, in theory, if every single drive for the rest of the game is a touchdown for both teams, then we win. Again, depending on how the timing works before the half, because then, obviously, that could bite us in the ass. But Trey's agent screwed him with the 1-year extension a couple years ago. I don't know if I agree with that. I think, like I said, I think Trey's in on everything. I think Trey's very involved in collaborating with his agent in a way that he has every right to. By the way, Trey Hendrickson has every right, I believe, to use whatever leverage he has because, like, I mean, the Bengals have basically all the leverage. Like NFL teams have like 90% of the leverage when it comes to a lot of these players, unless it's like a quarterback, basically. Unless it's like an elite quarterback, these teams have basically all the leverage because, like, you know, Trey Hendrickson, the biggest argument a lot of teams can make about Trey Hendrickson is he's getting older, right? Like, how much longer is he going to be playing at this level? And if he's been hurt all season, that's going to hurt his value going into the offseason. You know, that's not great for him. Now, he's still going to get a massive contract, and he'll probably get a bigger contract elsewhere than he would with the Bengals. But that is going to hurt his value by doing what he's doing. But I think he's also strategically thinking about that. He's like, you know, well, I'll probably still get a better deal elsewhere than I will with the Bengals, and you know, I'll be better off in the long run if I, you know, preserve my body. You know, I think it is all, you know, very strategic, very calculated, very whatever. And you know, you can be upset about it. And I know a lot of Bengals fans are upset about it, and you can be whatever. But this is business. This is negotiations. This is what teams do to players all the time. So if this is the standard that you're gonna set, this is the result you're gonna get. Like that's honestly the way I feel about it. I have no sympathy for, you know, I mean I'm a Bengals fan, so I want things to go well for the Cincinnati Bengals. But what the hell is going on with this? Is my camera just in the wrong spot? I think my camera might be in the wrong spot. Yeah, I have no sympathy for teams. There we go. I think I got my camera in the right spot now. But yeah, I have no sympathy for the teams. I have no sympathy for the Bengals. You know, I want the Bengals to win the Super Bowl. I want the Bengals to win every game they play. But that doesn't mean that, you know, I can't be objective when it comes to negotiations. All right, well, the Bengals maintain a 7-3 lead, even after an offensive possession for both teams. So that's good news. The Bengals defense eventually did their job, even though it took them forever. But that's how they were playing earlier in the season, and things worked out better earlier in the season for the defense than they are now, or they have been lately. Charlie Jones with a great kick return gets kind of gets a little bit of a pocket near the sideline and manages to, I want to say he got to around the 40. Hard to tell with the snow, though. Yeah, dude, Osai. I was so excited when we drafted Joseph Osai because, like, there was a lot of tapping a Bengals leg there. I don't know why the broadcast is highlighting that so much, but again, I can't hear anything, so maybe there's a little bit more going on. All right, Burrow. It's a fake pitch to Pirine. He's going to throw it on the run to Jamar Chase, who catches it. And that's going to be another Bengals first down. Let's go. Yeah, in general, I'm in favor of the players when it comes to these negotiations. Just from like a, you know, from a, if you're going to take a moralistic standpoint when it comes to business negotiations, which that's already a foolish game in the first place, right? But if you're going to, I'm going to side with the players. That's how that's always going to go. You know, maybe I'm not a huge fan. I'm not enjoying the drama for Trey Hendrickson, but I respect the hustle, you know? Sucks that we're almost certainly going to lose him, but, you know, I blame the Bengals more than I blame Trey. I really do. All right, that's going to be a handoff, I think, to Pirine, who gets absolutely walloped at the line. No, I think it was Chase Brown. He got absolutely walloped, and, you know, he stretched his arm forward and picked up, I think, about 2 yards. So, you know, it's better than literally nothing, but he got smacked, dude. Bengals record without Joe Burrow is 7-16. That's nuts. That sucks, because the thing is, if the Bengals went out with Joe Burrow, nobody's getting fired, and I don't. All right, it's going to be a fake pitch from Joe Burrow and then a handoff. That was just completely useless. That was a very poorly executed play on basically everybody's part. I mean, good job by the Bills to snuff that one out, but you know, I think a lot. I was about to talk about like Zach Taylor and, you know, whether or not he should be fired and whatever. There's an example, I think, though, of like when I say that people, I think, like, don't really analyze play calling. They just say play calling and they bring that up to be like, the play calling's bad. That's an example of like, I don't blame the play call. I blame the play execution. That was clearly very poorly done by the Bengals. Like, it was snuffed out by the Bills, and maybe it wasn't designed super well, but it looked like it looked like you could see what the point of the play was. It just, like, they completely, like, literally nobody on the entire offense handled that play well at all. So maybe they didn't practice it enough. Maybe you could, blame Zach Taylor for that, but I wouldn't call that a poor play call. It was just a poor play execution. Touchdown, Colts tied with Jaguars 7-7. Go Jags. You're making my point. Trey and his agent should have gone for the big multi-year deal a couple of years ago. I think they did. I think they did. They signed with the Bengals. Like the Bengals wanted them on a 1-year deal, and that was the Bengals were insisting on that, and I'm very upset with them for doing that. But the Bengals insisted on the 1-year deal, and Trey took the deal. As like a show of good faith, hoping that the Bengals would reciprocate later, and they never fucking did. They're just like, sucker, and then they, just kept milking them, and I'd be tired of it too. If like, whenever I've been taken advantage of by an employer like that, I'd be pretty upset because like, Trey Hendrickson could have made so much more money in his career so far than he has if he had, been a little bit more ruthless with the way that he's handled things. Now, I've enjoyed having Trey Hendrickson on the Bengals, but, it's not like, since he signed that contract, things have gone super well for us. So, and I'm not saying it's Trey's fault. I'm saying, it sucks from a Bengals perspective. Because like, yeah, we got Trey Hendrickson for more years, and we kept him around, but like, it didn't really help us that much because we just were completely incompetent in so many other ways. And, Trey Hendrickson missed out on a lot higher earning opportunities because he was here. And I like I said, I'd be, if an employer treated me like that, I'd be upset too. I had one employer treat me like that when I worked for FedEx. Like, I worked for contractors, and I had one employer who treated me like that, and I let him know about it. I didn't take that shit. I moved on to another employer who paid me better and treated me better. So I 100% on 100% on Trey Hendrickson's like side on this one, as far as like, what he like, if he should be seeking his value. But I also don't enjoy watching it. 3rd and 11. Frustrating because the offense was moving. Take that second down play out of the book. Yeah. I think they need to play it better. At least until they learn to run it. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. All right. Joe Burrow throws. Oh! Caught by Gesicki. Absolutely phenomenal grab by him. And the Bills are saying he didn't catch it. I'm almost certain he did, though. Yeah, they're saying 1st and 10. I was about to say. Like, he definitely caught that. There's no way. But, man, I didn't even see where that ball was going because of the snow. And Gesicki just grabs that. Does a great job. Secures it without even bringing it into his chest. He manages to secure that only with his fingers. Despite the Bills, like, really fighting hard to... Johnson there, number 7, fighting hard to knock that ball out, but Gesicki just strong hands, man. 1st and 10 now. It's going to be a short pass, a wide receiver screen to Jamar Chase, who gets loose and picks up about 7, 8, 9 yards, somewhere around that, despite the fact that it was not really very well blocked, but he found an opening. Looks like got Aaron Rodgers rushing for a touchdown here. So it's a 7-3 ball game for the Steelers and Ravens. Like I said, it's not that big of a deal who wins because either one's good for us, but I would prefer that the Ravens win this game. But then again, if the Steelers win, then that's a different type of opening, and it's not like the Steelers have a very easy schedule going forward. So Joe Burrow's going to throw it up, and that's knocked away. He had T. Higgins in the end zone, was not able to connect. Oh, wait, no, he was! That was a catch! Dude, this snow makes it so hard to see anything. T. Higgins brings that ball down. I thought that ball got knocked out, but on the replay here, no, and he keeps both feet in bounds. What a catch by T. Higgins. And I was like, he didn't catch it, but he clearly caught it. You can't really tell on like the far away camera angle. Like I was like, oh that got knocked out because you can't really see the ball. But woo! What a catch by T. Higgins! Oh my god! Oh my god! And the Bengals take a 2-score lead. Kick is up. That is good. Once again, I can't see the ball, but I'm assuming based off of the the direction that the camera's moving that was a good kick. I cannot see at all because there's like snow on the camera, so it's making a lot of spots kind of blurry, and I think it's kind of messing with I think it's messing with the focus of the camera, so you can't really see as well like individual details. So like despite the fact that I have a very nice computer and a very nice computer monitor, maybe in 4K I could have seen that, but it's okay. It's okay. Bills are pathetic. Division is ours. Well, I do think that the way the Patriots have been playing this year, I think the Patriots are gonna definitely win that. I think it's pretty clear they're gonna win that division at this point. Bills aren't pathetic though. Like the Bengals are just a hell of a lot better with Joe Burrow. Like obviously the Bills have had some rough games this year. They lost to the Falcons, and that's a thing. Yeah, dude, that T. Higgins touchdown was something, man. That T. Higgins touchdown was something. When you have no help for Allen, it's unfortunate. Is there no help for Allen? I mean, he's got receivers. I mean, they're not like, elite all-time receivers, but dude, my dad's so happy. Great catches by Mike Gesicki and T. Higgins. Yeah, my dad's having a good time right now. You'll love to see it. Not even with the win, still 5-8. What? Oh, the Bengals be 5-8 with the win? Yeah, but once again, Jim, we're in the AFC North. You got to understand how much our division sucks, dude. Like, you got to understand that the Steelers are almost certainly gonna lose at least 2 more games. Of their like 5 remaining games, the Steelers are almost certainly going to lose 2 of them. I would like for them to lose this one against the Ravens. We'll see what happens. But either way, whoever wins today, most likely is not going to is going to drop a couple more games this year. And the Bengals at 9-8 could win the division. And if they can beat the Bills, there's nobody really left on the schedule that you would really expect us to lose to. Now it doesn't mean we're not going to lose. Because, I mean, if anything, week 18, the Cleveland Browns, they're going to want to spoil our season, right? They're gonna play their starters because it's not like they're playing the next week after that. And they want to spoil our season, so, they want to get some momentum and et cetera, et cetera. The Dolphins and the Cardinals both have been, unpredictable this year, so you never know what's really going to happen. And then the Ravens, it's a divisional opponent, and they're not very good right now. But the idea that it's still hard to sweep a division opponent. That's still difficult to do. So it's no gimme, but we can win out. If we beat the Bills, there's no reason why we can't win out. Special teams got to do a little bit better than they did on that, though. Let him get to about the 35 on the kick return. It's okay, Kyle, but size matters. I mean, because of T. Higgins? Because he's a big guy? Is that the reference? I'm not sure what you were responding to there. James Cook, good running back for the Bills, not just Allen. Yeah, James Cook's a good running back. Hasn't had a great day today so far. Well, no, he's been okay. Hasn't been phenomenal, though. He's going to get the handoff here, and the Bengals, he gets about 5 yards. Bengals let him keep his legs moving. That was like a Samaje Perine type run. Not great. But hey, if they can hold him to another field goal, I don't really give a shit what they do most of the field. James Cook has 3.7 yards per carry right now. So, like I said, not a phenomenal day by James Cook so far. Not bad by any means, but you definitely, you want to be at least over 4 yards per carry. That's what you want to shoot for. If it's 3.7, that's like, hey, you're doing decent, but not, really making a big difference. Josh Allen, on what appeared to be some sort of like weird looking draw play, gets it to Dawson Knox, and he picks up like 15 yards because, of course, that's what happened. Very annoying. So it doesn't really matter what happens. The Bengals are probably just going to give up a big play. That's how the defense works. And they seem to be going back to that Lou Anarumo style of, at least the way he ran our defense. I haven't really paid that much attention to the Colts, but the way he ran our defense was like, you can do whatever you want 80% of the field, but we're going to probably hold you to a field goal. Which I wasn't the biggest fan of, but it worked better than our defense was working at points this season. See the Jets and Bears. Now, the Bears have a good offense, don't get me wrong. James Cook with one of his better runs of the day, getting about 5 yards after shifting around and finding, basically creating some space for himself. It's actually 6 yards. That might be his best run of the day. They're saying on my big screen, oh, okay. Well, see, I think for the thing for me, like, I have good eyesight. Like, I'm not, I like, just because I'm on a smaller screen doesn't mean that I can't see anything. I think it's the resolution. But, like, I just couldn't see where the ball was because, you just don't really have ideal lighting conditions. Josh Allen, shotgun snap, throws, and almost intercepted. Oh, man, DJ Turner almost had that one, but he did knock it away, and it's 3rd and 4, so that's good news. And let's see if they can get off the field here. That would be really nice. DJ Turner with the phenomenal play there, though, almost intercepted it. And there was even a chance that maybe Barrett Carter could have intercepted that on the ricochet, but I don't think he was. I think that would have been a pretty impressive play if he had managed to intercept that. But DJ Turner, man, that sucks. I mean, that's awesome that you knocked away. Good job, but, like, man, would have been really nice if you could have caught that ball. Josh Allen's going to throw it. That was, I think, meant to be a screen pass to Ty Johnson. Completely whiffs. Completely whiffs. The Bengals didn't do a damn thing. And I think the Bills are, it looks like the Bills are staying on the field. This is a risky play right here. I mean, I know you're down 14-3, and, with the way your offense is playing, you need to capture whatever momentum you can capture. But this is risky. If the Bengals stop them here, then, I mean, they could be, the way the offense is playing, like, this could turn the tide of the game, like, even more in the Bengals' favor. Let's see what they do. And they are going to go for it. Josh Allen takes the snap, and he's getting rushed. The Bengals get a good pass rush, but they aren't able to get him down, and they let him throw to the side, and Gabe Davis catches it for a first down. And, man, Bengals actually had a good Bengals actually played some decent defense there, but they could not finish, unfortunately. It looked like B.J. Hill was the one who probably could have finished off that play and was not able to get past his block. Gabe Davis picking up the first down. Damn. So close. So close. Could have had that one, man. Turns out to be a good decision to go for it on 4th down by the Bills. Sean McDermott, fair play. All right, it's going to be a handoff, James Cook. And he gets out to the outside, and boy, the tackling. Oh, man, they let him get 9 yards in that one. Or 8 yards, apparently. Both Bills and Bengals go 8 and 9. Actually, the Bills can do this. Best the Bills can do is 12 and 5. 12 and 5 would be a pretty good record, Richard. Like, it's not going to win the division because the Patriots are playing so well, but 12 and 5 is a pretty good record. Bills no worse than 10 and 7 with that, and with that first round exit. I actually mostly agree with Jim. I don't know if I would predict that they're going to have a first round exit, but we'll see. Josh Allen getting rushed, but Bengals cannot bring him down, and they managed to let him get out of there, despite the fact that 2 people had shots on him, and he picks up a first down. Oh man, dude, this is hard to criticize the Bengals offense too much, Bengals defense too much for having only allowed 3 points so far through most of the first half. But there's stuff like that there's stuff like that kills you. Stuff like that piles up over time, and as the defense gets more tired, stuff like that tends to happen more and more. First and 10 from the 17-yard line. Josh Allen fakes the handoff, scrambling around in the backfield. He's got basically nobody pressuring him at all. Doesn't go anywhere with the ball. Eventually, he throws it out of bounds. I guess there was good coverage on that play because he took forever to figure out where to go with that ball. He also had forever because the Bengals got zero pass rush on that play. And eventually, by the end of it, I think Miles Murphy might have been bearing down on him and he had to get rid of the ball. But, at that, he had a good, 7-8 seconds. It was B.J. Hill, actually, apparently, who was bearing down on him, not Miles Murphy. All right, well, 2nd and 10. I mean, if you can hold him to a field goal, that's still good, right? Especially if the offense can get another touchdown. Josh Allen, shotgun snap, throws it short, and, oh, boy. Oh, man, tackle him! What do you do? Good Lord. Give up like an 8-yard play on the dump-off pass to Ty Johnson. They shouldn't have let that happen at all, but, even then, it could have been like a 4-yard game, but they gave up, 8. Good coverage, terrible pass rush. Yep. That's right. Now, we are playing against Josh Allen. If there's anybody who's good at navigating a pressured pocket, it's Joe Burrow, but Josh Allen's probably right up there with him. All right, Allen, shotgun snap, fakes the handoff to James Cook, throws it short to Dawson Knox, who is not able to get past the line of scrimmage, and the Bengals hold him to a 4th down, and I'm imagining the Bills are probably going to take the field goal here, because Dawson Knox actually lost yards on that play, but 1 yard, but still, it's relatively early in the game. I get why you went for it earlier, because you're kind of in no man's land, but here, I think you take the points. 4th and 4, you could go for it, and the offense is on the field. Okay. All right, come on, defense. You got a chance here. Don't give up there. Okay, ball is snapped. Josh Allen's looking around. He's scrambling out to the right side. B.J. Hill's not letting him have that one, and that is thrown and caught for a touchdown. You gotta be absolutely fucking kidding me, dude. This is what I'm talking about. Like with the defense, they do some good stuff, but then they let stuff like this pile up over the game, and in the second half, it's always a fucking avalanche. Hopefully this doesn't. That's not what this turns into. But with the Bills apparently very willing to go for it on 4th down. There's a flag on the play, though. Hold on, what's the flag? What's the flag? Josh Allen's not happy. Personal foul, roughing the passer. Fuck. And they're going to decline that because it's a touchdown. Josh Allen didn't look happy, though, so. The Bills are going to go for 2. Because why the fuck not? Why the fuck not go for 2 against this defense, man? Look, the defense has been playing better today than they normally do, but still not that great. How is that roughing the passer? God, I hate roughing the pass. The way they call roughing the passer in the NFL. If somebody hits Joe Burrow like that, he kind of drove him to the ground, but not really. What are you supposed to do, man? I don't like that at all. Well, Bills understandably are going to go for 2 because they got the ball at the 1-yard line now. Josh Allen is going to fake the handoff, and he doesn't have anywhere to go. But he does eventually throw it to the back of the end zone to a very poorly covered tight end. And the Bills get the 2-point conversion and make it a 3-point ball game. It's our fucking defense, dude. And give him credit for doing pretty well so far today. I guess it was Khalil Shakir who caught that. Once again, very difficult for me to see anything in the snow right now. But that's what bothers me so much about this defense. I give them credit for playing well today, but that's most of what we've seen all year from them. Is just complete ineptitude. Titans lead 14-3, but who cares? Not me. Not me. Well, they are playing the Browns, so I guess that's good, right? Fuck the Browns and all. I guess I kind of care. Go Titans. Um, the Browns have the ball. It's 3rd and 1. Oh, at the Tennessee 1-yard line. Okay, so the Browns will probably get points here in a sec. Okay, I thought that was on their own 1-yard line. That would have been crazy. Vikings up 14-0 on the Commanders. Dolphins up 21-7 on the Jets. Saints and Buccaneers are tied 7-7. Steelers are up 7-3 on the Ravens. And Jaguars are up 14-7 on the Colts. Seahawks and Falcons are tied 3-3. And then obviously the Bengals are up 14-11, which is good, but like man. I just texted my dad. I don't know how to feel about this defense. Like, it's better, but it's still just not good enough. Like there's so many opportunities they should have had to put that drive away, and they whiffed on every single one of them. But then again, they also put themselves in that. But that's what they've done all year. They've put themselves in position to make some sort of big fucking statement, and then they just fall apart. That's what they've done all damn year, man. Thoughts on Mark Stoops being replaced as Kentucky football? Even though UK is a basketball school, it seems like Stoops regressed and overstayed his welcome. As you said, Kentucky's more of a basketball school, so I don't have as many opinions on Kentucky football. Where's my fucking chat? There we go. Even though UK is a basketball school, yeah. I don't have that many opinions on UK football, but things have been better with Mark Stoops than they've been otherwise. So I don't know. But again, I don't have too many opinions on college football in general. I think my dad said something about that, like on the text. I think he texted me something about Mark Stoops. Maybe I'm wrong. Thought he did. I don't know. I know Kentucky hasn't been constantly contending all the time, but I know they've been better with Mark Stoops than they've been otherwise, so I don't really know super how to feel about that. That kick return is going to be returned by Samaje Perine to about the 31-yard line, so, hopefully the offense can keep the pressure on. Because, the defense, man, just, ugh. They bit so hard. I think Dawson Knox was the one who caught that touchdown. And the defense they bit so freaking hard. It was a well-designed offensive play. I'll give them credit for that. Who's their offensive coordinator? Joe Brady. Okay, well that was a very well-designed play by Joe Brady, who I know has been a little bit under fire by Bills fans recently, but that was a very well-designed play call. Chase Brown takes the handoff, and he gets kind of creates a hole, but probably didn't need to. If he had cut, he probably could have had more yards on that, but it's going to be about 2-3 yards. So whatever. Whatever. The real Bengals will show up in the second half and lose. That's not the real Bengals with Joe Burrow, though, man. That was the Joe Burrow-less Bengals. So we'll see what happens with the Joe Burrow Bengals. Hopefully they don't lose. Been a bit of an offensive game so far. Joe Burrow, shotgun formation. He's going to throw it short to Chase Brown, who, man, I feel like he could have made a good juke there, but isn't able to pull it off. Picks up about 3 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and about, 5, 6? Probably about 6. 3rd and 6, I think, is what it's going to be. 3rd and 7? I guess I must have been wrong. How many yards they... Come on, offense. Can't rely on the fucking defense. Just can't do it. Can't rely on them. Got to get something going here, man. All right, Joe Burrow, shotgun formation. 3, 2, snap. He throws, and that is caught. That was a bullet to Mike Gesicki, who catches it through the contact, and he's been good today, man. That's going to be a Bengals first down. Good play. Good play there. His forward progress. Collins for the first down incompletion. Happened to get on the touchdown. Good coverage at first, but way too much time for Allen. Mom is listening. I'm watching downstairs. Forward progress. Also, he kept sliding. I'm lost at this point. Also trying to pay attention to the game probably doesn't help. Good block by Samaje Perine there, and bad throw though by Joe Burrow, who throws a little short, and that is knocked away by Johnson. Taron Johnson is the one who knocked that away. Intended for Noah Fant, but Joe Burrow just throws it a little too short. Had a good opportunity there, but alas, almost intercepted too. But yeah, that was way. They should have needed to throw that a little bit farther for Noah Fant, man. He had him too. Noah Fant was in a good position, but he just threw it way too short. All right, it's gonna be a handoff. Samaje Perine, nice run. Picks up about 8 yards, 7 yards. So it's going to be 3rd and 3 now. All right, come on. Come on, offense. They're starting to sputter a little bit. Got to keep this drive going, though. And I will say, for what it's worth, if you keep that clock moving, that's a good strategy right there. If you can keep that clock moving, maybe you can give the Bills not much time to get anything done. Samaje Perine is going to take the handoff, and with a little bit of second effort, manages to pick up the first down. So keep that clock moving. Give the Bills as little time as possible to get a double up, because that's what I'm worried about right now with the way the defense looked on that last drive. Defense has looked in general pretty decent today, but that last drive looked a lot like what they've looked like all season, and that's what a lot of what they've done this season is. There've been some like, oh, is this defense maybe halfway decent earlier in the game, and then they get tired and they play like garbage. So I hope I'm wrong about what I'm seeing right now, but that's what I saw from the defense on that last drive. It's going to be a deep pass from Joe Burrow, and throws caught by T. Higgins. I think he's out of bounds though when he came down with it. Unfortunately, that was once again not the best pass by Joe Burrow. I love Perine. I know he fumbled a couple times, but he's great, dude. Perine's awesome. A lot of guys fumble sometimes. That was way too high of a throw by Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow on this particular drive has been a little off his mark. And that's honestly been a big part of what the issue's been. It is a blizzard. He is trying to throw in a blizzard. So, to some extent, maybe you kind of understand. T. Higgins is on the sideline right now, getting looked at. So that's not great. Wonder if he kind of came down hard in his head there. Well, that sucks because T. Higgins is having a good game too. Like I think it's pretty clear that we need T. Higgins. Because can't really rely on Yoshi. Daniel Jones tore his Achilles. Oh! Well, the Colts are done then. Daniel Jones is out, then that's it pretty much for the Colts season. Like, good night to the Indianapolis Colts. That sucks, man. That you don't like hearing about that. Who's I guess Anthony Richardson got to be in now? Is that who's got to be Anthony Richardson who playing now? Colts won't make the playoffs. That's possible. That's legitimately possible. Like the Colts could not make the playoffs if if they lose out, if they don't win another game, which I think is possible if they got Anthony Richardson at quarterback, because Richardson is up to this point given zero inspiration to anybody about anything. They're playing like garbage today, and that's with Daniel Jones. So, I assume with the Jaguars being up 21-7. See what's going on. Trevor Lawrence is 107 for a touchdown. Travis Etienne is averaging 6.2 yards per carry and has two touchdowns. Man, it's almost like, the Lou Anarumo defense is still the Lou Anarumo defense. Almost like that's what people should have expected all along. Daniel Jones, to be fair, has not been having the best game so far. But Jonathan Taylor has been pretty decent. He's got himself in the end zone. And 3.9 yards per carry is not phenomenal, but pretty decent. Daniel Jones has not been playing super well today. Let's see, five completions on 7 attempts for 60 yards and an interception for a quarterback rating so far of 57.7. So, I mean, if he goes out, it's not like Daniel Jones is helping too much, but I'm almost positive Anthony Richardson won't help at all. Yeah. So T. Higgins caught that, but I don't even think he got both feet in bounds in the first place. He also may have a concussion, which is unfortunate. Touchdown, Jaguars lead 21-7. Yep. All right, 2nd and 10 now. Joe Burrow, shotgun formation. Got time, and he rushes out to his left. He's going to throw it deep, and it's too short. But hey, now, hold on a minute. How is that not a flag? There's a flag, and the Bengals are going to get, I think, the Bills, that's pass interference, because Andre Yoshivas was basically tackled, and it wasn't the most catchable ball, but Yoshi theoretically could have come back and caught that. And the reason he didn't is because he was basically tackled in the moment. Not the best throw by Joe Burrow, but terrible coverage there by Johnson. And it is going to result in the Bengals getting a 1st down and goal. Yep, Taron Johnson, who made that great play earlier, but that's a killer, man. That's rough because like the Bengals offense was kind of sputtering a little bit, and now you gave him some life. And with the way the Bengals defense was playing, it wasn't looking great for the Bengals, but now it's looking a lot better. And I think part of the reason why Joe Burrow threw a poor pass there was because he might have even gotten touched a little bit by a defender. I don't know. Anyway, Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. He's going to pump fake, rolls out to behind him, and it's caught, but I think just short of 1st down. Caught by, Joe Burrow threw it to Chase Brown, who was in the end zone, but he had to come out slightly out of the end zone. But he got, it's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1 now, I think. Great catch by Chase Brown. Just unfortunately, Joe Burrow was not able to get that quite into the end zone. Great job, though. Yeah, just short of that pylon. Just short of that pylon. Very unfortunate. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1. And the Bills are challenging it, too, so I don't know what they're challenging because he had both feet in bounds and he caught it. So, unless the Bengals are challenging that it's a touchdown. Oh, the Bengals are challenging. Weird. Okay, so what... Okay, so that ball was in the end zone when it made contact with Chase Brown. The question is, like, where is it caught? It was not ruled a touchdown on the field, so you're going to need incontrovertible evidence. However, you got a perfect angle, so if the referees decide that counts, then they've got clear evidence. So, I don't know. I think my opinion is that is not a touchdown. But I could see an argument that it is a touchdown. Like if the shoe were on the other foot, I would most likely be focusing very heavily on the fact that, he didn't, you could probably really make the argument that he didn't have control of that ball until the ball was past the end zone area. But I think I would also objectively after the fact, because I'm me and I don't have the ability to have fun when it comes to, ref calls, I guess. But like I would most likely after the fact understand if they did call that a touchdown. If the shoe were on the other foot. So, I guess so my opinion is that is not a touchdown, but I could see a world where they call that a touchdown, and I sure hope they do. I sure hope they do. Like, that'd be great. That'd be phenomenal. Happy Sunday, everybody. Let's go. Happy Sunday, Daniel Berry. Very few said Bills have a good defense. The Bills don't have a particularly good defense. They don't have a bad defense. They've got like a league average defense, roughly. I think it's a little below average, but Bills have a decent defense. It's not horrendous. Now, I mean, I don't think beating up on the Bills' defense is particularly impressive. But if anything, that's more toward my argument. If anything, that's more toward my argument that the Bengals have every chance to win this game, and if the offense can keep performing well, then we should be fine. Defense pisses me off, but in theory, the defense has had a pretty good game today. So it's like, yeah, they had that last drive was awful, but if offense can keep the pressure on, then maybe the defense can have like a couple more drives today that aren't horrendous, and that would be very nice. That'd be very good. The call is reversed. What got reversed? Chase Brown's celebrating, so I guess they're calling it. They must be calling it a touchdown, but the score hasn't changed on the board. Oh no! Are they saying that wasn't a catch? Oh man! Wait, no, they're saying that was. Okay, they're saying it was a touch. I'm so confused. So Chase Brown gets a touchdown, and I took like an hour to figure out what they were even saying. See, this is the downside of not having the audio. Is I don't actually know what they're saying quite a bit of the time. Evan McPherson's kick is up, and that I think is good. Again, snow, hard to tell. But the Bengals take a 21-11 lead, 10-point lead for the Bengals, and that's good because they need to stay pretty severely ahead of the Bills for me to feel good about this game. Like I'm not saying the defense can't turn it on and do something good against a Bills team that has been struggling offensively the last couple of weeks, but I don't trust our defense to do it. Let's see. Well, I did notice because like when I made my prediction, I predicted it. I usually predict games based off of how things have gone in recent weeks and how teams have kind of looked over the course of a season when I come up with my score predictions. So the Bills have not broken 30 points in 2 weeks. They did against the Buccaneers, but prior to that, they only scored 13 against the Dolphins. And prior to that, they did not. So, I mean, let's see, 1, 2. So the first couple of weeks, they were scoring 30 points or more every week. But after week 4, it's 2 instances where the Bills went over 30 points. So their offense has not been the super high-flying offense that we're used to seeing from the Buffalo Bills this year. Which is why I think that our defense that is now playing a little bit better can maybe, do something against this Bills team. Obviously not the way they played on the last drive, but that was the last drive, and we have a 10-point lead right now. And if you could get off the field here, even get the ball back to the offense, and we can even get a field goal with the Bills. A score here would be devastating because the Bills are going to get the ball back after the half. Especially a score that takes all 3 of these minutes off the whatever. Bengals do a good job of stopping that kick return at around, I want to say, the 26-yard line, I think is where I saw that go down. Again, hard to tell. That's what happened. I accidentally clicked it when I was, because I have a very narrow desk setup here. I don't really like it very much. But anyway, I guess I can probably figure out here on the box score, or on the play-by-play where that... hey, here we go. Okay, so it's at the 32-yard line. Okay, so it's a little bit better than what I thought it was. Anyway, James Cook... Oh, God. Bengals let him get loose. And he gets about 17, 18 yards on that rush. Good Lord. Zach's challenge paid off. Winner, winner. You know the rest. Yeah, I like I said, if the shoe was on the other foot, I'd be arguing that that's not a touchdown. But I'd also, I think, very much see a world where that is a touchdown, and I'll take it. I'll take it. 1st and 10 now from the 49.5-yard line. Very bad play on the last one. That's going to be another handoff to James Cook. And once again, defense is just looking absolutely porous right now. And they give him about 5 yards on a rush where they could have gotten him down probably like for a yard loss, honestly. And this is what this team does, man. This is what this defense does, is they trick you into thinking they're good, and then they're like, no, we were just kidding. We were just kidding. We're bad. Hopefully they hear me and they do better. Like hopefully they hear me. I don't know why they would, but yeah, I mean, it's like maybe if I talk enough trash about them, they'll hear me and they'll be like, oh, I'll show you, buddy. And then they play really well, and I'm like, oh, I'm so sorry, I am a big dummy. And then my team wins a football game, so I think I'd take that, right? Like, if I got to do my part in looking like a fool, but the Bengals win football games, then I mean, I just got to come on here and the fucking clown nose, dude. I don't give a shit what it takes. Well, I guess I do give a shit what it takes, but if it's just my reputation, then I don't care. Not like YouTube is turning into quite the thing I thought it would be, you know, and not trying to get on here and like, you know, be all complain and woe is me and stuff like that. Just, you know, being honest. This hasn't quite turned into what I initially envisioned it as, and that's fine because like it's a very nice hobby. I get on here. It's much nicer watching Bengals games this way, where I can vent to you guys instead of stew into myself and just be upset the whole rest of the day. Like doing this at least allows me to get over Bengals losses faster. So I mean, even if this, you know, like at this point, I don't see this turning into really much of anything beyond where it is right now. But you know, I'm still I like what I did get out of it. You know, it wasn't, you know, I shot for the star. I always figure, a big saying of mine is, you know, if you shoot for the stars, you might hit the moon, or you got a pretty good shot at hitting the moon. And I don't know if I hit the moon, but you know, I've got something that's a pretty good, pretty fun hobby, pretty good experience out of it. So, you know, I'm pretty chill with the results. Not to mention, I'm not gonna lie, like YouTubers like Grossi and Perna and 5 Points, and like, they all talk about like how, like, you know, even though it looks like a really glamorous thing, it's a tougher job than it looks like, and it also results in like a lot of sleep deprivation. So it's something that, like, when you're in like college and you're in your 20s and stuff, YouTube is very much, you know, something that, you know, you can really kind of put everything into. But trying to do stuff like that when you're in your 30s and 40s is more difficult. But again, part of the reason I started this channel was to learn some skills that made me more marketable as far as a career goes, and that seems to have worked out. So, you know, I'm happy with what I've gotten out of YouTube so far, and what I have the opportunity to continue doing, even if it's not going to be money related. All right, so the Bengals do a better job of stopping the run on that play. I think they gave him a yard, maybe 2, but they didn't let him get loose after that. So it's going to be 3rd down and 3 now. I would say, can you get off the field here? But I almost guarantee you, if the Bengals get a stop here, they're going to, well, I don't know, maybe the Bills would take the field goal. With the blizzard, you wonder, maybe they wouldn't. But I almost wonder if the Bills would take the field goal here, because doubling up with any points is a big freaking deal, right? Although actually no, they're at the 42. I think the Bills false started, by the way. So that's going to knock them back even farther. And so the Bengals have a real opportunity to get off the field here with all 3 timeouts and 1:21 left to go in the half. So I think a real opportunity here for the defense to make a statement, which isn't good because that usually means the Bengals are about to give up a big play. Hopefully I'm wrong. Knock on wood. Let's see what happens here. It's going to be 3rd and... what would that be? 3rd and 8? It still says 3rd and 3. What? That's not right, though. The graphic's wrong. It's about 3rd and 8. All right, Allen's going to throw it short, and the Bengals stop him. There you go. And it's 4th down and the Bills picked up about 4 of the yards they needed to. And I think the Bills offense is walking off the field now. They're going to pretty much have to punt. Because, like, I mean, if you go for it here and you don't get it, you're kind of fucked, right? Khalil Shakir is kind of limping off the field here. That's not good. Poorly designed play, I think, on Joe Brady's part here. That was not that's the if the Bengals call that play on in this situation, I think they'd get Bengals fans would get up in arms. That was a very poor play call there by Joe Brady. P.J. Jules questionable with an ankle. That's not good. 4th and 3, and the Bills' offense is going back out onto the field. So this is ballsy. This is ballsy by Sean McDermott. Now I will say, like, it's the Bengals' defense, so the Bills are already 2 for 2 today on 4th down conversions. So like, here's the thing though: if they don't get it, this is prime real estate for the Bengals on offense. So this is risky. It is risky. I wonder if they're just going to try to get him to jump, because they're taking their sweet time snapping this ball here. Nope, they snap it. And Josh Allen's getting rushed. He gets hit and is knocked away. And the Bengals get the turnover on downs. And Miles Murphy thinks it's a fumble. I don't think it's a fumble. It's Chris Jenkins who thought it was a fumble and rushed it into the end zone. I don't think it was a fumble, though. But it is a turnover on downs. And the Bengals defense holds, which is not what I expected. Yeah, that was definitely a forward pass. Chris Jenkins probably should have known that because he got hit with the ball. Either way, that was massive holding on like Chris Jenkins managed to make that play even through the holding call that did not get called, by the way. Not the holding call, the holding penalty that did not get called. Should have been called, but works out for the Bengals because Josh Allen, I think panics a little bit because the Bengals got a good pass rush, and Chris Jenkins managed to get his face mask in the way of that. So now the Bengals have 2 timeouts left, 1:11 left to go in the half. And they got an opportunity to put some extra points on the board here before they have to give the ball back to the Bills yet again. So, did me talking trash about the Bengals defense help? I don't know. Maybe it did. 1st and 10. Cannot really tell where the ball is. Joe Burrow throws, and that is... Yep, I was about to say that was clear pass interference once again on the Bills, and Mike Gesicki was basically getting held as Joe Burrow got that ball to him. So that is going to be, it's going to be holding on the Bills actually. So that's better than pass interference, but that's still a penalty and going to be in the Bengals' favor there. On C. Lewis. Cam Lewis, yeah. Okay, so let's see here on the replay. You've got this is a Bills play that we're replaying. I don't know why we're doing that. I think they might have gotten the wrong clip because they didn't even really show anything on that replay. Joe Burrow shotgun snap on 1st and 10. He's going to throw it to Mike Gesicki. Oh, I'm sorry, that's Tanner Hudson who catches it. He's got a 1st down, and the Bengals can take their time at this point. You don't want to, you're not using those timeouts because you don't want to give the Bills really any time to go get down the field either, because they do have all 3 of their timeouts. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. He's going to throw, caught, dropped by T. Higgins. Rough. I don't even know where the ball is right now, man. Like, it's so hard to tell in the snow. Like, because the field's totally covered in snow. And, you can obviously see the game. It's not a whiteout. But you can't really see the numbers on the field, so I'm having trouble figuring out exactly where the ball is. I think it might be at the 40 right now, though, because, on that replay, it appeared that the 1st down marker was at the 30. So I think the Bengals have the ball at the 40 right now, which means, in theory, 5 more yards to field goal range, but in this snow, maybe not. I don't know. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap, getting rushed and sacked. Burrow didn't even see him, man. That's 100% on Burrow. How did you not... I know that's coming from the blind side, but, how did you not even check? Damn, man. That's not good. That's not a good play by Joe Burrow at all. And that might just be, he hasn't really played most of this year. Obviously, he played one game. 17-3 Steelers over Ravens. Well, that's not the result I was hoping for in this game, but you'll take that. You'll take that because the Steelers do have a tough schedule coming up. So, I mean, the Bengals need the Steelers to lose 2 more games, but if they're destined to beat the Ravens, then whatever. Probably going to beat the Dolphins, right? But they got the Lions, and the Lions are kind of in a bit of a mode right now. They also do have another game against the Ravens. So we'll see, And then there's the Browns. It's always a division game. You never know what's going to happen there. Yeah, we'll see. We'll see with the Steelers. 3rd and 18. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. Scrambles out to his left. And he is taking his time. He throws it up. And that is, too far. Man, that was just a bad pass by Joe Burrow. And T. Higgins is not able to come up with that one. 23 seconds left. And Bengals going to have to punt the ball. That sucks, man. That was, once again, I think Joe Burrow's just struggling throwing the ball in this environment right now because that was not... Okay, so maybe part of it was Joe thought that's where T was going to be, but T slipped. Yeah, that was just overthrown. Damn, man. Yeah. I think the way the offense is going on this drive, I think punting's the right move here. That sucks. That was a good opportunity, but hopefully Rico can do a good job of pinning him here. He's got a prime opportunity. Has not been very good in prime opportunities this year, but anyway, punt is away, and that is going to. Oh God, that's a horrible punt. Bills are going to get the ball around like the 21-yard line or so. Now there is only 10 seconds left in the half. That's good. Like, the Bills have all 3 of their timeouts, but they only have 10 seconds left. So, barring like a gigantic busted play, which is always a possibility with his defense, but barring a huge play, most likely this is going to go. The Bills are just going to run out of time here. After that sack, Bengals best to run out the clock. That definitely, as much as you can. So 10 seconds left in the quarter. 10 seconds left in the half. And it still says quarter 1. Man. Quarter 2. But we're about to go to halftime anyway, so a lot of good that's going to do. We got 10 seconds left in the half. Let's see what the Bengals, let's see if the Bengals defense can just, do the normal job. And they don't even have to because the Bills are going to knee the ball and take it into halftime. Seems like an odd decision when they've been so aggressive this year, but I guess not. Okay, all right. Well, it is halftime. Let's see, the Bengals, so the Bills get the ball first in the second half. So I think that means I'm going to go P for the D. So I will be right back. All right. P for the D achieved. My camera's actually in the right spot now. Let's see what we do. Let's see what we do. Devon Achane with a pretty good rush there on the halftime highlights there. Let's do a little recap of how the rest of the NFL is doing right now. Looks like the Seahawks and Falcons are tied 6-6, which is crazy, but whatever. Jaguars up 21-10 on the Colts. And Colts currently have the ball and they're driving. Riley Leonard looks like Riley Leonard is the backup quarterback for what happened to Anthony Richardson. I mean, I know he's like he hasn't really developed, but like he's still on IR. Okay, I didn't realize he was on IR. Riley Leonard. I don't really know I've heard of him. I don't know too much about him though. 6th round pick out of Notre Dame. Apparently, he was Notre Dame's quarterback last year. I guess. Apparently, he proposed to his high school sweetheart in July. Good for you. Okay. Riley Leonard, interestingly enough, is not playing particularly well, but playing a little bit better than Daniel Jones was playing. In the idea that it's basically the same exact results, except he didn't throw a pick. Somebody's texting me. Who's texting me and why? I mean, I can imagine why, but probably my dad. Guessing my dad. It is my dad. Okay. Steelers dominating the Ravens so far. Hopefully the Ravens get them next time. Baltimore seems to have fallen off a cliff. Yeah, Daniel Jones is Baltimore. I don't know why I saw Baltimore and I thought the Colts. What the fuck? Okay. Baltimore seems to have fallen off a cliff. Yeah, Baltimore sucks, dude. Ravens suck. That's why I'm feeling good about the Bengals' chances to win the division because, like, you know, the Steelers are inconsistent as hell. And, I mean, at this point, the Steelers are almost certainly going to win this game. But if the Ravens can take the other one later this year, then that would be big. That would be big. And maybe it's good because, like, you know, you don't want the Ravens to, you know, start feeling themselves too much with Lamar Jackson back. You want them to still feel like they're not going to do anything this year. That way they don't, like, you know, start going on a big win streak or anything like that. You don't want the Ravens to go on a win streak because they're getting confident, right? Play the Bengals next week. So, I mean, that's the thing. I will say one thing. If the Ravens lose today, the Bengals have an opportunity to get into second place basically by their own merit next week because the Bengals play the Ravens next week, right? So, if, you know, obviously second place isn't enough. You need to be in first place. But you've got a Steelers team that you're only 2 games behind, and the Steelers still have one more game against the Ravens, 1 game against the Browns, so 2 more division games. And then, what was the other? The Lions. So, I mean, the Lions could be a tough game for them, especially since it's in Detroit. And then there's, again, Browns. I know it's the Browns, but wild card division team, you know, fighting hard at the end of the season, trying to, you know, maybe spoil a division rival season. You know, I'm trying to talk myself into that one. And then you got the Dolphins. I mean, like, the Dolphins feel like a team that the Steelers could randomly lose to. But then again, it also kind of feels like the type of team that the Steelers could, like, obliterate. And then everybody starts talking, oh, well, the Steelers are back. So, you know, basically it's like no idea what's going to happen with the Dolphins next week. But if, you know, obviously if the Steelers lose that game, then the Bengals would be 1 game behind in the race for the division. And so you got, well, okay, so if the Bengals beat the Ravens, if the Bengals don't beat the Ravens, season's over. Like, just, you know, go ahead and go ahead and stick the knife in them, because, like, I mean, the Bengals basically got to win out, but even if they don't win out, they really got to beat the Ravens. 8-9 could win the division. Seems unlikely that it would, but if any division in the NFL is going to have an 8-9 victor, it'll be the AFC North. So, Browns have let the Titans kind of scream back here. They're up 17-14. Oh, wait a minute. No, I'm sorry. The Titans let the Browns scream back because the Titans were up 14-3, and the Browns have scored 14 unanswered points. So now the Browns are up 17-14 over the Titans. The Titans have the ball and are driving, but they've blown that big advantage they had. Vikings up 14-0 on the Commanders. I'm guessing they're probably just that's probably just the Vikings game at this point. I don't know. They could choke it away. Who knows? Dolphins up 24-7 on the Jets. So I will say, now obviously the Jets are the Jets. But the Dolphins have been looking better lately. So could they beat the Steelers next week? That'd be pretty cool if they did. Buccaneers up 10-7 on the Saints. They're struggling with that game, but it would boggle the mind to think the Saints are going to actually win that game. Steelers up 17-3 on the Ravens. Although the Ravens are in scoring range, so maybe the Ravens take that game. If they get a touchdown here, then it's 17-10, and I don't know who gets the ball first in the second half. But they're still in the second quarter. So looks like the Steelers get the ball first in the second half. So, but all I'm saying is if the Ravens get a touchdown here right before the half, then I wouldn't write the Ravens off of winning this game just yet. Like I said, either result is both good and bad for the Bengals. I would rather the Ravens win this game though, because the Steelers have, a potentially tough-ish schedule coming up. But it feels a lot better if they've already got, they need to lose 2 more games. Feels a lot better if they lose this one. The Ravens, on the other hand, the Bengals still play them. So if the Bengals are going to make this happen, then the Bengals need to win that game. And so if they do win that game, then the Bengals just need the Ravens to lose 1 more game. And they've got Patriots, Packers, Steelers. The Ravens have a gauntlet coming up. The Steelers, I wouldn't say have a gauntlet coming up. The Steelers have 1 tough game, 1 wild card game, and 2 division games. So all of those are possible games they could lose, but also I don't think you would necessarily, other than the Lions game, I don't think you would bet on the Steelers losing any of those games. Maybe the Lions game, maybe, but even then, I think I know a little bit better to know that the as far as momentum goes, the Lions, just because they beat the Cowboys doesn't mean I super trust the Lions right now. And the Steelers are a team that just when you think you know what they're going to do, they do something else. So if you're betting on them to lose to the Lions, I wouldn't do that. I hope they do. They totally could. I wouldn't bet on them to do that, though. Not like Aaron Rodgers isn't used to playing in the cold. But yeah, the Ravens definitely have the tougher schedule coming up, so I would rather the Ravens win this game. Either way, Bengals got to take care of their own business, otherwise none of it matters anyway, but I guess I feel like it's almost like my catchphrase at this point. We'll see what happens. But it's true. The Bengals aren't anywhere in any remotely close of any sort of at all position to control their own destiny. So, you really do have to see what happens. Take what the NFL gives you. That's what it was last year, right? We took too long to get going last year, and we won out at the end of the year, but we just didn't quite get, we almost got all the results we needed to magically make the playoffs, but it just didn't, we ended up having to rely on the Broncos. We ended up having to rely on the Broncos beating the Chiefs. And the Chiefs were kind of rolling at that time. So, even though it was they don't really need to play their starters, it's still a division game. And the way the Broncos are lately, it just does not seem like the Broncos are going to pull that one off. No, I'm sorry. I totally made all of that up. We needed the Chiefs to beat the Broncos, but we knew the Chiefs were almost certainly going to rest all their starters, and they'd much rather see Bo Nix in the playoffs than us. So you knew exactly what the Chiefs were going to do, and that's indeed what happened. So it is what it is, though. It's the Bengals' fault for letting themselves get in that position where the Chiefs control their destiny in the first place. You can be like, oh, the Chiefs unethically, blew through that game so they didn't have to see Joe Burrow in the playoffs. Yeah, maybe. That's also speculation, but I think it's certainly arguable that they probably did something like that. Thomas is calling me. What's up?
Shedeur Sanders might mess around and be the French best quarterback.
Bro, it's the Titans.
I mean, here's the thing though. Like, if you look bad against the Titans, they would have been like, "Oh, look how bad you look against the Titans." So. I mean,
I get it, but maybe Shedeur could be. No. Okay, guess he's gonna call back. If he calls during the game, we're not going to be able to talk a whole lot, but I don't know. There he is again. What's up?
I'm sorry.
By the way, just so you know, I'm live right now, so anything you say is going straight into the microphone.
All right, cool. That's fine. I know it's Titans, but you know what I mean? If you look bad against the Titans, you would have been like, oh, look how horrible Shedeur look against the Titans. So it's like...
Well, yeah, that would be the other side of that. But there's a big gap between this guy's awful and can't beat the Titans and this guy is a franchise quarterback.
I mean, he just looks good. Can I at least just say that he looks?
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. He does look pretty good, but my biggest concern is he couldn't get it done when it mattered against the Ravens.
Oh man, Daniel Jones is hurt.
Yeah, he tore his.
I got money on him.
My chat said he tore his Achilles.
I should have used FanDuel. I should have used freaking Fanatics. I would have had the parlay protection.
All right, kick is away, and it's going to be returned about the 26-yard line, 25, where he gets taken down. All right.
Anyway, I'm about to get off here. Anything y'all want to ask me at all? While I got me for a hot minute.
I ain't got anything, and my chat's, I've got some people in my chat right now, but not a huge amount, so I don't know if anybody's going to respond in time.
You said Mikey's on there on the stream right now?
Mikey is streaming right now, yes.
Mikey's streaming right now? Is he streaming at the same time you are? Can he hear you?
No, he's not streaming with me. He's doing his own stream for the Saints game.
Oh, okay, because I was going to talk shit, because I took the money line Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Oh, well, you can go to his chat and talk shit if you want.
Yeah, I will. Well, I got somebody coming over. She won't want me to pay attention to her.
All right, Josh Allen under center. He is going to fake the handoff, rolls back, gets a lot of pressure, and he gets taken down. Sack! There you go, B.J. Hill. Let's go. All right, Bub, I'll talk to you later.
Yeah, I will say I do like that Chase Brown, by the way. He's nice.
Chase Brown's a good player. Samaje Perine really good too, man. Our running game has taken a step up.
Brown, that's
yeah.
Later, homie.
All right, talk to you later. Always good to hear from Thomas. Unfortunately, the podcast has not been something we've been able to keep up with lately, but always good to hear from Thomas. He's happy about the Shedeur Sanders, and I'm skeptical about Shedeur Sanders, but, he has been having a good day today. I'll say that. He's been damn near perfect today. Josh Allen, play action pass, throws it, and that is too far for... a flag. What's the flag? I think they're going to call this on the Bengals. Going to call this on DJ Turner, I think. Gabe Davis, I think. Pass interference on the Bengals. God damn it. Murphy flushed Allen to Hill. Let's see. I see the replay. I didn't really see it, so maybe he did, maybe he didn't. It looked clean to me, but not to mention that ball went out of bounds. Yeah, well, yeah, okay, fine. Yeah, I'll give him that. That was very weak pass interference, but I think technically, yeah, he was grabbing his arm, and that ball was generally catchable, so, yeah, that's weak, but yeah, probably right. Bengals do a good job of stopping the run on the next play, though. Stop him at the line, so it's going to be 2nd and 10. That sucks, but, you know, he probably would have caught that ball if it hadn't been for the pass interference, because that was fairly catchable, and he's a good player. So Geno Stone's the one who snuffs out that run, by the way. Good to see Geno Stone having a good play, because don't see a whole lot out of him. All right, 2nd and 10 from the 36-ish yard line. Josh Allen rolls back, throws, caught, and he goes down, tries to make a cut, can't really do it cleanly in that snow, and it is going to be about a 6-yard pickup for the Bills, but not much more than that, or 5 yards, I guess, apparently. So it's going to be 3rd and 5 now. All right, come on, defense. You can stop them here. That's huge. How huge would that be if they can stop them here and then the offense can at least get a field goal or something, you know? That would just be, man. Talk about taking full control of this game at that point. All right, Josh Allen, shotgun formation, takes a snap, getting pressured a little bit, not a whole lot. And he's just going to keep it and run. He's got it easily. Bengals try to more focus on trying to get him to fumble than stopping him, so he ends up getting about like 5 or 6 extra yards even after he gets hit. Man, what a defensive breakdown on that play. What an absolute defensive breakdown on that play. I mean, you're playing with the lead, so you know you've got room, but you're banking on the offense continuing to bust ass, which, you know, is maybe a safe enough bet, but, you know, you gotta... I just don't like the way they're playing these last couple of drives. Josh Allen hands the ball off. James Cook picks up about a yard or 2. Bengals bring him down. Pretty standard play there. Probably gave him a yard more than they could have, but, you know, whatever. So it's going to be 2nd and 8, I believe. Bills, 2nd and 7, I guess. Bills will have the ball around the 45-yard or 40-yard line, apparently. Bills have the ball at the 40-and-a-half-yard line. Josh Allen takes the snap, looking around, throwing it short to James Cook, and the Bengals bring him down for about a 5-yard gain. It's going to be 3rd and 2. It'd be real nice if you could hold him to a long field goal attempt here, although most likely I'm guessing what the Bills would do is they'd go for it on 4th down. So it'd be huge if you could get another turnover on downs, but I just don't believe in them to do that. I just don't. I do not believe in them to do that. I hope they do. Josh Allen. Shotgun formation, takes a snap, rolls back, and he's getting rushed pretty well, but, oh, good Lord. James Cook gets the dump-off pass, and Barrett Carter, of course fucking Barrett Carter, takes an absolutely horrendous angle trying to bring him down, and he ends up giving up like a 25-yard play. Disgusting. Absolutely horrendous play by Barrett Carter, and it was bad coverage is what it was. He like, you know, got picked by a Bills player, not in like an illegal way, but he picked himself essentially. Like he was not zero spatial awareness on that play. James Cook takes the handoff on the next play and picks up about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and goal. Come on, defense. This is how our fucking defense goes, man. I want to be happy that they only allowed 11 points in the first half, but it's the way they like 8 of those points are from one drive, and that one drive was horrendous. But this is what they do. They play well in the first half, play like garbage in the second half. Josh Allen throws, caught. There's basically no coverage there. You know, there was coverage, but like he flailed when the ball came in his direction. That's going to be a touchdown. Dalton Kincaid. A lot of Bengals fans wanted him in the draft. Not me. I didn't want Dalton Kincaid. I don't think I would have been upset with Dalton Kincaid, but I did not want Dalton Kincaid that year. I wanted, what year was that? Well, the Bills make it a 4-point ball game, likely a 3-point ball game with the extra point. Kick is up. That's good. 3-point ball game. Offense going to have to come through on this next drive. Dalton Kincaid was a first-round pick in 23, which I thought he was like a third-round pick, first of all, personally. Now, I was wrong. He's been very good for the Bills. But the Bengals... so the Bills actually got Dalton Kincaid because they traded up with the Bengals. Funnily enough. I think. No, they didn't. No, the Bengals were at 28, so they didn't even have a chance at Dalton Kincaid. Bengals got Miles Murphy that year. Tight end wise, I was hoping for Kincaid, Laporta, Michael Mayer. I was hoping for Michael Mayer that year. We got Miles Murphy, who I was actually pretty excited about. Miles Murphy, if you go back and watch my coverage of the draft, like my live reaction to the draft, I was pretty excited about Miles Murphy because I thought that Miles Murphy was a type of guy who, like, you know, could have been like a top 15 draft pick, but there were a couple of like things that had like. Might have been an injury related thing. I can't remember. There was something that was on his scouting report that like made him kind of fall in the draft, and I was like, oh man, what? That's really good value to get Miles Murphy at pick 28 because like I thought that, you know, I mean, he was gonna go like in the top 15 at least. He has right now he's playing better, but he took a while to get going. So I think, you know, the crowd where like he was not worth a top 15 draft pick was probably correct. You know, he's probably more of like a, you know, second round value as far as what we've gotten out of him so far. But it was also pick 28, so that's very close to being a second round pick anyway. So it is what it is. DJ Turner was so close on that touchdown. Not close enough. I wanted Darnell Washington. Was that year? Yeah, that was that year. So I wanted Darnell Washington as well. I wanted two tight ends, to be honest with you. I wanted the Bengals to take Michael Mayer with pick 28, or maybe even trade up if you have to, and then take Darnell Washington, who, by the way, if you recall, was projected to be like a 4th or a 5th round pick. He wasn't projected to go in the 3rd. I would have, or no, did he fall? He might have fallen, actually, now that I think about it. Like, I wanted Darnell Washington, too, but I thought we could get Michael Mayer and Darnell Washington. I don't remember my exact analysis of that draft at this point, but I do remember thinking that we could potentially get both of them, and I wanted both because I wanted Darnell Washington because we really needed somebody to block at tight end. And Drew Sample's good at blocking, but at the time, we didn't really know what was going to happen with Drew Sample. So Drew Sample has since cemented himself as a very good blocking tight end for the Bengals, who has, you know, continued to contribute on and off. But definitely, at the time, we were thinking the Bengals might end up moving on from him. Washington dropped because of injury. Yeah, that was it. That's right. But I think because of the injury, I was thinking during the draft that we could end up getting him like in the 4th or 5th round or something, so we could get. So I was wanting Michael Mayer, in like the 1st round, and then later on in the draft, we also pick up Darnell Washington. That's what I'm almost positive that's what I remember my strategy was. So the Bengals get the ball at the 22 or 27 yard line after the kick return, and it's going to be a handoff to Chase Brown, who gets wrangled and taken down after about a 2-yard gain. 2nd and 8. All right, Offense has got to keep the pressure on because the defense is doing the Bengals defense thing right now, which is playing like absolute fucking garbage and letting a team who they have had every opportunity to put away so far in this game scream right back into the game. So, not feeling great about that. Let's just say that. The offense can continue, putting points on the board, then we'll be okay. But Joe Burrow's dancing around in the pocket. He's going to throw it, and he's got... Oh, man! He had... Who was that who dropped it? Was it Jamar Chase? Jamar Chase dropped it. Or was it T. Higgins? And it's T. Higgins. So good news is T. Higgins is in the game. Bad news is T. Higgins... That's his second big drop of the game. Man, he had that one, too. He just... It wasn't knocked out. It wasn't anything. He just did not secure it. Didn't bring it down. Damn it, T. And that was a good pass by Joe Burrow. Like, it was exactly where it needed to be. He threw it to T. Higgins because T. Higgins should make that catch. Damn. You're right. Great pocket. Bad pocket on that play. Joe Burrow has to just toss it away and get rid of it. And the Bengals offense stalls. 4th and 8. They're gonna have to punt. There's no salvaging this drive at this point. And that was, in this case, this was actually a poor block by Samaj. Usually Samaj P. Ryan's pretty good at picking up blocks in the backfield there. Did not take a good angle on that one, and Joe Burrow had to rush to get rid of it. So, damn. Bengals can't do anything on that drive. Ryan Rico's going to come out, and he's going to punt this ball away. Defense has got to step up. And there's going to be a flag on the play. What's the flag? I think it's going to be a false start because they stopped the play. Yeah, false start on the Bengals. Damn it. It wasn't a great punt by Rico, to be fair, so maybe this gives him a second chance to hit a little better. Damn it. Bengals starting to fucking choke a little bit here. Got to get it together, man. They gave themselves a cushion, so I mean they had room for error, but starting to run out of room for error. Really starting to run out of room for error here. All right, punt is away, and this is a better punt, so that actually kind of worked out. Special teams, though, does not do a very good job of covering it, and he picks up about 8 yards. So it's going to end up being right around probably where the punt would have been anyway. So the Bills are going to get the ball at like the 29-ish yard line, I want to say. 30. Yeah, the 30. Going to get the ball at the 30-yard line. Stupid, man. Bengals have got to get it together. Like this is what's been happening a lot this season, man, is they've been looking good in the first half and fall apart in the second half. The offense can't make one fucking mistake because the defense will collapse. Man, we really use a turnover would be nice, man. A turnover would really help out. So the Steelers are up 17-9 on the Ravens. So the Ravens ended up getting... looks like the Ravens got a touchdown. Did not get the extra point, I guess. Maybe they went for 2. Oh, no. Wait, no. Hold on. Okay. Touchdown. Oh, no. He just missed the extra point. Yeah, he just totally shanked the extra point, apparently. Dang, that sucks. Luckily, the Steelers are... Oh, no. Aaron Rodgers threw for a 42-yard pass to DK Metcalf. Oh, no. That's not good. Damn, dude. That's tough. That's tough if you're the Ravens. Yikes. Bills get the ball back, watch the Bengals choke. Well, that's what they're doing right now, Jim. That's what they're doing right now. They've got time to figure it out. They've got time to get it back together, but they're starting to run out of time. Meanwhile, the Vikings are winning 17-0. The Dolphins are winning 24-7 over the Jets. The Buccaneers are winning 10-7 over the Saints. Steelers are up 17-9 at the half. Apparently, what? The half? I thought I saw Aaron Rodgers. Yeah, okay, there you go. Steelers have the ball at the Baltimore 18 right now, up 17-9, so they're still pretty much in control of that game. Buccaneers up 10-7 over the Saints. Vikings are actually up now 23-0 over the Commanders, so I guess I just needed to refresh. Browns are up 17-14 on the Titans after coming back in that game. Seahawks have started kind of taking control of their ball game, up 19-6 on the Falcons. Jaguars up 28-10 over the Colts. That game's probably getting close to saying the Jags really got that one. Bengals defense, once again, just completely opens up in coverage. And Josh Allen gets an easy first down to Dawson Knox there. Nobody's even near him. Demetrius Knight was the only one in that general area, and, man. Sounds like it'll be a fun week to troll Ratbirds fans. Not if we choke this game, stranger. Not if we choke this game. Touchdown, 24-0 Vikings. Not kidding. Yeah, but you're playing the Commanders, man. Like I wouldn't get too cocky about it. Josh Allen got plenty of time to throw. The pass rush has just completely dissipated, and he picks up about 5 yards. To Dalton Kincaid there. Lamar Jackson rushes. So Lamar Jackson rushed for a touchdown, and that's how they got that one apparently. So it's a 17-9 ball game, but the Ravens defense is doing Ravens defense things. Allen's going to hand the ball off to James Cook, who keeps his legs moving and I think got the first down. Because of course he fucking did. That's what we get for not scoring a touchdown on every single offensive drive. It's what we get. Should have known better. Should have known that we should have taken the opportunity we had when the defense was playing well, because they ain't going to play that well all game. This is what the defense does. It's what they've done all damn year. Just completely let other teams gash them, no matter who they are. Now, I mean, the Bills, plenty of talent, but still. Josh Allen fakes the handoff, and he's got a lot of pressure, and he's going to get sacked. Tries to step up and run, and TJ Slayton brings him down. There you go. That's what you need out of the defense, man. But you got to be more consistent, too. Like, just doing that once ain't gonna get the job done. But hey, credit for doing it there. Seahawks got another score. They're up 20-6 over the Falcons now. Vikings are indeed up 24-0 over the Commanders, as Jim said. Dolphins up 24-7 over the Jets. Saints up 14-10 over the Buccaneers, which is, I'm sure Mikey's happy. So yeah. Bengals 2nd and 14 now. Josh Allen throws, caught, and tackled. So it's going to be about 11 or 12 of those yards with Joseph Osai in coverage for some awful reason. That's why you throw it there. Battle flushed Allen to Slayton. Well, cool. They need to do that more often. I've noticed when they send safety blitzes, it tends to work out for them. I've noticed that all year. So do that more. Because you really need something on defense here. Like, you really need something. You can't expect the offense to just be perfect all the time. Josh Allen, shotgun formation. He's going to toss it short, Dalton Kincaid, or Dawson Knox. Is it Kincaid or Knox? It's Kincaid. And they let him pick up like 15 yards there. Because, of course they do. This fucking defense, dude. I'm telling you, this defense makes me want to stick needles in my eyes. Like, yeah, they looked good in the first half, mostly, but they also looked like they were getting tired out after, like halfway through the second quarter. And, they made a big push at the end of the half, But that doesn't really mean anything if the defense overall is getting tired out because you still have a whole other half of football to play. We're starting to get into we need a turnover territory for this to really, continue on the path that we need it. James Cook, once again, big hole, gets through a couple tackles, nobody can fucking tackle, and he keeps on his feet, dives in the end zone, touchdown. I hate this defense, dude. I fucking despise this defense. They're just absolute garbage. They're garbage when, like whenever you need to slightly rely on this defense, they turn completely into utter garbage. You can never rely on them. Did they take the touchdown off the board? Might be holding, actually. Might be holding on the Bills. Doesn't change the fact that how many missed tackles were there that should have prevented him from getting in the end zone? Oh, did he fumble? Oh, he fumbled! He fumbled and it went through the end zone. That's going to be a turnover. What? What? What a play by Joseph Osai to knock that ball out before it crosses the thing. And the Bengals should challenge that. The Bengals should challenge that. That is a turnover, and that's going to be a touchback. And the Bengals are challenging it. That is a turnover. Oh! Mikey's in the chat. Says the Saints scored a touchdown. It's cool, Mikey. Sorry about the burp there. Excuse me. What a play by Joseph Osai. The last possible second. It reminds me of what Jordan Battle did to Isaiah Likely against the Ravens. Woo! And that's clear as day, too. That's clear as day that's a touchback for the Bengals. Woo! I was saying we needed a turnover, and we should have it. As long as the refs do the right thing. Now, it was called, I think, a touchdown on the field. Might have actually been called a yard short on the field. Mikey says I need to change the quarter. You're right. I never even put it in a halftime. Quarter 2 out of 3. Hope not. Actually, you know what? Quarter 2 out of 3 would be great. Because maybe we only have to play 3 quarters. We don't have to play the 4th quarter. Because I don't really trust this team right now, Dude, what a play by Joseph Osai to knock that ball out. And that's clear as day, too. There's zero indication to me that the refs should do anything other than call this a touchback. God, I know some people don't like that rule, but I love that rule. I love that rule because that adds chaos, And I know the Bengals have been benefiting off of it lately, but that's still such a fun rule. It adds something interesting to the game, and it's bitten the Bengals in the past before too. I even said at the time when the Bengals, I think the Bengals ended up losing a game because of something like that, and I even said at the time, I'm like, I still really like that rule. It sucks that it happened to us, but that's such a fun, interesting thing that should be relatively rare, but happens more often than you'd think, and that it's such a, especially with how much they let the offense just get away with murder half the time because of the way the rules are, that gives the defense something that they can something really unique that the defense can do, and it makes defense more interesting just to have a rule like that out there. Well, so I'm still waiting to hear about the result of the challenge, but I can tell you that I don't think there's a Bills fan on the planet who would argue that that's not a touchback. Maybe plenty of Bills fans who'd be very upset about the rule itself. I know a lot of people don't like that rule. I know that rule is also more popular now than it used to be too. I've heard plenty of people talking about how they do enjoy the rule. So let's see. It's definitely not a touchdown. I think they have determined that it is not a touchdown because, yeah, and he's losing control of the ball, fumbles it. It has zero control over it before it goes into the end zone or across the sideline. So that's a fumble, and that goes over the end zone into the and then out of bounds, and that is a touchback. At least it should be. We'll see what the refs say here, but. 1st and 16. What? Why is it 1st and 16? I'm so confused. Fumble out of bounds. That's what I'm saying, stranger. It was a fumble. Or are they saying it was a fumble? Yeah, it's fumble out of bounds and it goes past the pylon. So, like, that would have been a touchdown if it wouldn't have been for Joseph Osai. So it's allegedly 1st and 16 now. And the Bills still have the ball. I'm so confused. So, are they calling it not a catch? What? I'm so confused. I am so utterly confused. What? So the Bills have the ball at the 30-yard line now. I'm lost. Josh Allen gets out of a pressure attempt, and Joseph Osai does a horrendous job trying to tackle him. And Josh Allen picks up like 5 yards on the 1st and 16 play. I'm so confused. What happened? 10-yard penalty. Holding. Cincinnati challenged the runner, broke the plane ruling, and the play was reversed. James Cook up the middle. Fumbles, ball out of bounds at Cincinnati 1. Penalty on Buffalo. Offensive holding enforced at Cincinnati 20. What? Is that what happened? The Bills got a holding penalty and we can't decline it? It was a fumble out of bounds and the Bills get to keep the ball? Is that what happened? I don't understand that at all. It doesn't make any sense. Josh Allen throws and he misses. So it's going to be 3rd and 9 now, and the Bengals can at least hold him to a field goal here. Dude, that's so stupid. Osai went for the throwing arm. Huh? What does the throwing arm have to do with anything? Pass interference on the defense. Illegal hands to the face. Are you... I hate this defense. How many times am I going to say it this year? I despise this defense. They're absolute garbage. They're absolute garbage. They choke constantly when it matters. The fumble went out before the ball broke the plane. That's what I'm saying, stranger. The fumble... No, it didn't go out before the ball broke the plane. The fumble went out of his hands before the ball broke the plane, but it fell out of bounds. So I have no idea what the call on the field makes, or the call after the ruling is completely. I'm completely lost. Maybe I can find something on Twitter to explain, but like I'm so lost how that wasn't a turnover on downs in the Bengals' favor. I'm so completely and utterly lost. It doesn't make any sense. That should have been a turnover. It's exactly the same thing that happened with Isaiah Likely. Try to find on Twitter here in a second. I'm still so fucking mad, dude. Bengals holding to about 3 yards on the run, so it's going to be 3rd and 2 now. What the hell is going on, man? Nobody else understands what's going on with that challenge. What? How is that not a turnover? 3rd and 1, Josh Allen throws it short and easy fucking catch. There's not even in any way, shape, or form where the Bengals had any ability to cover on a play like that ever. I hate this defense. I absolutely despise this defense because even when you think they're playing well, they're actually garbage. With Likely, the ball broke the plane, then went out. Today, the ball went out at the 1-inch line. No, it didn't, though. Like, it didn't. And even then, why was it 1st and 16? Why wouldn't it be 1st and, at the 1.5 yard line? That doesn't make any sense to me. James Cook... Is that a fumble? Did the Bengals recover a fumble? I think Oren Burks might have recovered a fumble. The Bengals got a fumble recovery after all that. Making the Bills take more time off the clock, mind you. Yep, ball came out, and he wasn't even near the line yet. And Oren Burks recovers the fumble. Let's go! Jim over here trying to be like, is it going to be a touchdown, Bills? No, sir. You retracted your message. I saw you. I saw you. You can't hide from me. You can't hide from me, Jim. Fumble. Let's go. If the Bengals were like, fuck the refs. We'll take the matter into our own hands, which is not something I expect the Bengals defense to do. But one thing the Bengals defense has been very good at doing throughout most of Joe Burrow's career, regardless of whether they play any good otherwise, is they have been good at getting turnovers. So they got the turnover. There you go. There you go. Does that count as the P for the D? I don't think so, because, right, that's like the second offensive drive for the Bills of the half, so I don't think that counts as the P for the D. The P for the D clearly did not work. Okay. I'm going to go for the O. Okay. I'm back. Went for the O. Jim, I will respond to your comment here in a second because you're wrong. Joe Burrow dodges a sack, throws, but it's too high for Jamar Chase. Man. Hello, Mikey. Jim said, still on your own 2-yard line. Hey, holding on the Bills. There you go. Bail us out. There you go. Johnson's having a bad game as far as penalties today. Still on your own 2-yard line, but that's not true, Jim. It was a touchback. The ball was recovered in the end zone by the defense. Ball can't be advanced on a fumble, but if the defense recovers, they recover it wherever the ball is recovered at, and it was recovered in the end zone, so it's a touchback. My screen is gone because I went to the bathroom, Jim. Because I went to the bathroom. Yes, I went to the bathroom, Mom, and go for the O. It means I'm going to go pee and hope that it magically helps the offense somehow. Samaje Perine with a big run up the middle there, and he dives forward, almost gets enough for a first down, not quite. Bengals still on 2-yard line. What if they turn the ball over? No, it was a touchback, Jim. That's not how football works. Bengals redeem themselves for now with a definitive defensive stop. Ooh, that they cut it close though, man. They cut it close. Tyler Shuck is our quarterback next season, guaranteed. Yeah, y'all are having a good game against the Bucs, ain't you? 2nd and 1 from the 39.5-ish yard line. I asked my dad to explain what happened with that fumble. Because, obviously now it doesn't really matter because the Bengals got a turnover anyway and got a touchback. So, essentially, it's the same thing, except now there's less time on the clock. It's 46 seconds left to go in the third quarter here. So, basically just made the Bills run more time off the clock while the Bengals still hold on to a lead. and hopefully they can get back up 10 points on this drive. It'd be really big. But yeah, basically just made the Bills take a little bit more time, and the Bengals still ended up getting a touchback after a fumble, and this time completely undisputable. Yeah, so that's what ended up happening there. Works out in the Bengals' favor. Still gotta finish it off in the fourth quarter though. And the way the defense has been playing, like, yeah, it's great that we got the big turnover, but we can't rely on this defense, right? Like, yeah, they got the turnover, but you can't bank on turnovers. Like, you just can't. I've said it all year, and it's happened over and over and over again. The defense gets these, turnovers, but then when it really matters in crunch time, they completely fall apart and let, big play, touchdowns go to win games. So this defense, it's got to step up regardless. My dad said ball did not go through the end zone. Yes, it did. Was correct. My dad says it was correctly called. So maybe I just completely, like, I thought, I said, I was narrating it as it happened. I'm like, oh, hey, because, like, I didn't even realize that was a potential thing that was going to happen. But that ball, to me, clearly went through the end zone. That ball clearly, to me, went through the end zone. But maybe, I don't know. My dad says it was the correct call. So maybe I must have just seen it wrong. Because if my dad's saying that was the correct call, then okay. Then because my dad is not known for being unbiased. So if my dad's saying it was the right call, then it's probably the right call. I probably just saw the wrong thing. But from what I saw, that was a fumble through the end zone. Like the fumble the ball came out before he crossed the plane, and then the ball crossed the plane afterwards. From what I saw, maybe I'm wrong. Clearly, you need to get your eyes checked. I saw what I saw, man. I mean, like, maybe I'm completely wrong here. It sounds like I'm completely wrong here. It worked out in the Bengals' favor. They got they got what they needed anyway. Bengals got the ball at the 34-yard line now, 2nd and 1. Gonna be a handoff to Pirine, and he gets through for the first down. There you go. About 3 or 4 yards there. Game is still far from over. Bengals not even in field goal range yet. Yeah, because the drive just started, Jim. What the what? What are you talking about? Of course they're not in field goal range yet. You're grasping at straws trying to find anything you can to, cast doubt, I guess. Like, there's a lot of things you could say about this to cast doubt other than that. You could say the defense still isn't playing well. Yeah, defense still isn't playing well. Offense has got to get a touchdown on this drive to really feel good. Yeah, but the fact that they're not even in field goal range yet, that's a dumb thing to say. It's going to be a pitch forward to Jamar Chase, who picks up about 4 yards on the rushing attempt there. Like Jim, there's so many things you could say to make the argument that the Bengals, are not, like you still need to be worried if you're a Bengals fan. There's so many things you could say. That is not a fair thing. Frankly, it's a dumb thing to say. All right. Well, anyway, 2nd and 5. Come on, offense. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. Rolls back. He's getting rushed, but he throws, and it's caught by Mike Gesicki. Joe Burrow does a good job on the blitz there. Ball did not go through the end zone, was correctly called, would have been Bills' ball at the 1, but the penalty called it back. So there was a penalty and... Okay, that I guess that makes more sense. If it was ruled that it would have been down at the 1, but there was a penalty and it got put at the 16, I guess that explains what happened. I'm still really, very... I don't know about that one, but I'm clearly overruled here. Everybody seems to agree that I'm wrong here, so whatever. I guess I'm wrong. Chase Brown takes the handoff, gets nothing. Stuffed at the line. A moment of silence for the water jug on the Gesicki catch. My dad says, seems like I'm behind, so I'll wait with my comments a bit. Apparently, I guess, I don't know. Y'all seem to be a little ahead of me too, so I don't know what's going on. Maybe at the commercial I'll reset my page and see if that helps. I do appear like y'all seem to kind of know what's going to happen before I know what's going to happen. So I don't know. Like ever since I got YouTube TV, it seems like I'm generally more, on top of like being live and stuff like that. But today it doesn't appear to be the case. Joe Burrow on 2nd and 10 takes a timeout. Not sure why, but whatever. If they can hold on to the lead, I guess it doesn't really matter. Gotta score here for them to really, really feel good about them holding on to the lead because, boy, the defense, they've only let up 18 points so far. That's worth noting. But it hasn't been really on their own merit for the most part. Like earlier in the game, yes, but now not so much. Like the last 2 quarters basically has not really quite been the most encouraging performance by the defense. Just, hey, turnover, great. Can't rely on turnovers. Joe Burrow shotgun snap. He's getting rushed a little bit, not much. I think there was an intended blitz there. They didn't do a very good job of putting it through. Also, we're in the 4th quarter now. But anyway, he gets it to Yoshi for about a 5-yard gain. I think it was good blocking by the Bengals, but also a poor blitz attempt by the Bills. All right, well, 3rd and 4. 3rd and 4. Come on, Bengals. Come on, offense. Got the ball at the 44-yard line. Getting relatively close to field goal range, but I wouldn't call it. Looks like the snow's died down a little bit, which is probably good for potential field goals. The Bills, looks like the Bills took a timeout right before the Bengals snapped the ball. So, I don't know about taking a timeout if you're the trailing team in the 4th quarter. That's not, I don't know if that's a smart decision, but well, whatever. Okay, so we're at a commercial. I'm going to restart my feed here and maybe I catch up a little bit. It doesn't look like that's what happened.
What's in your wallet?
Well, no, maybe I think I basically skipped through that whole Capital One commercial. So maybe my feed was, maybe I accidentally hit pause at some point on my feed. I don't know. I think I might have catched up a little bit. Caught up, catched up, ketchup, Heinz ketchup. Ew, no. We don't talk about Heinz during football games. It always got on my nerves so much that the Bengals had the Heinz red zone in their own stadium. We don't need to be sponsored by Heinz. Not if the whole Pittsburgh stadium is called Heinz. We don't need that. No Heinz. Heinz bad. We do not Heinz here. Hunt's. That's what I'm thinking of. Hunt's is the ketchup brand I prefer. Why? Because it's not Heinz. Because Heinz reminds me of the Steelers. Boo, Steelers. Okay. Good to see the Bengals being competitive no matter who's out in front of them. Man, can you imagine though if we had beaten, if we had finished off just the Jets game and the Bears game, right? Because we were in control of both of those games. We should have won both of those games. Can you imagine if we had won either of those games? If we had just finished and not let the Bears and not let the Jets scream back and not blown the comeback victory over the Bears. Can you imagine if we had just finished those 2 games? We'd be, I want to say, in first place in the AFC North right now, and this whole win out thing would just be about finishing. It wouldn't be about having a chance to make the playoffs. And you'd feel pretty good about it because the Bengals look like a completely different team with Joe Burrow out there, Speaking of which, let's see what they do here on 3rd and 4. Joe Burrow takes a shotgun snap, looking around, throws, caught. Jamar Chase, first down. Good play. Good play. Picks up about 5, maybe 6. Yeah, Jamar Chase on the quick out route there. I do think he picked up 6. Tried to turn and go. Couldn't quite break out of the tackle, but that's okay because he had enough for a first down. Fresh set of downs for the good guys. Let's go, Jay. Let's go. All right, we need a touchdown, man. We need a touchdown. All this effort, burning all this clock. Being up 6 ain't going to be good enough. All right, it's going to be a screen pass to Jamar Chase, who does make a guy miss. Picks up about 5 yards on the play, so, not the best wide receiver screen of all time, but, not too bad. Apparently the Ravens have come back a bit. It's 20-16, but then Aaron Rodgers throws it to Jaylen Warren on a touchdown, and it's going to be 27-16 after all that. So, Ravens defense needs to do better if they're going to... Ravens, too, give the Ravens a little bit of credit. They've stayed in that game. They're basically having a similar type of game that the Bills are having, right? The difference is the Bengals defense is probably worse than the Ravens defense in the clutch, right? Joe Burrow throws. Is that caught? Is that caught? Nope, it's not. I thought that might have been a catch by T. Higgins, but I couldn't. Human beings were in the way. You couldn't see. So unfortunately, not a catch. 3rd and 6. And, you're technically in field goal range here. I'm not feeling super great about it in the snow. Plus, going up 6 doesn't feel that great. Going up 6 doesn't feel... it feels okay, but not that great. From the 34. All right, 3rd and 6. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. Looking around, throwing, caught, wide open, T. Higgins. And he has a lot of trouble catching that ball. But he does catch it. Part of the reason, if there had been any contact, there's no way he would have caught that ball. But he does catch it, and the Bengals drive stays alive. What was that, about a 20-yard gain? Something like that. From the 34 down to, can't really tell. Oh, T. Higgins hit his head again. Oh, man. Oh, man. T. Higgins' head is just getting abused today. He's not on the field on this play. They didn't make a big deal about him going into the medical tent, though, so hopefully he's okay. But Chase Brown takes the handoff, picks up about 4, maybe 5 yards. Okay, now they're showing T. Higgins walking around on the sideline and kind of getting looked at. Probably going to have to go into the medical tent just out of being careful, Although he's not doing it right now. He's just on the sideline. So, I don't know. They only gave him 3 yards on that. I don't agree with that. I don't agree with that being a 3-yard gain, but whatever. It's 2nd and 7. The Bengals have the ball at the 12-yard line. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. He makes a guy missing pressure. Gets Mike Gesicki for the touchdown! There you go! Touchdown, Bengals! And they take a 9-point lead in the 4th quarter, pending the extra point. Let's go. If the Bengals only get 3, then the Bills still have a chance. Well, they got 6, Jim, and hopefully they'll get 7. At 6-6, we would be in first because of division. At 6-6, be first because of division record. Yeah, that's the thing, man. God damn. And that would only be with yeah, man. Can you imagine if they had just done their frickin' job this year? I was hoping at the beginning of the year, kick is up, by the way, it's good. I was hoping at the beginning of the year, we would be like, oh, hey, we started 2-0. We're not going to have that problem at the end of the year where it's just like, oh, man, if we had just done this or this or this, just any one of those things, then we'd be in a, like we would have made the playoffs this year. Joe Burrow doesn't get hurt. Probably in easy playoff contention right now. You don't blow a gigantic lead to the Jets in the 4th quarter. Probably, at the very least, you're in you got a real, believable, super believable shot at the playoffs. I mean, as is, you're already feeling pretty decent that better than you normally would. At 4-8, you're way better than you normally would, feeling like maybe there's a shot. But you'd really feel like there was a shot if they had beaten even just the Jets or just the Bears, right? Just one more game, and they'd only be a game behind, with one game left to play against the Ravens, who currently are at least keeping somewhat up with the Steelers. You know, they're down 27-16 right now, so you know they're going to need to step it up. But they've got the whole fourth quarter left to play. If they can get a touchdown on this drive, then you know they got to stop the Steelers, but that's not impossible. Finally, a completion to T after a little bobble. Mike G having a big game. Yeah, dude, Mike Gesicki is definitely proving right now that extending him was a good idea. 1 quarter left. Ravens trying to come back down 27-16. I hope they can pull it off. I really do. Like, if they don't, as long as we win, I think I'm feeling okay, but I would rather the Ravens win because I don't see the Ravens continuing to win after this game. But I do want them to beat the Steelers because I feel like the Ravens are going to have a much higher chance of losing games on their upcoming schedule than the Steelers, because Bengals would still be 2 games behind the Steelers if the Steelers won. Even if the Bengals won, they'd still be 2 games behind the Steelers. So they're going to need them to drop. They're going to need them to drop a game to. If they got Dolphins, Lions, Ravens, Browns, which I mean none of them are gimmies, but all of them, the Steelers shouldn't, like, theoretically shouldn't, you know. 3 of the 4 the Steelers should be favored. And then there's the Lions game, which is just like the Lions. Who knows what to even think about the Lions right now. They're good, they're bad, they're good, they're bad, who knows. All right, kickoff is away. It's going to be a return around the 10-yard line, and the Bengals special teams cannot tackle. They've done a good job today, but they didn't do good there. Let them get to about the 32-yard line. Even with a win, still 5-8, long shot for the playoffs. It's true. That's true. It's definitely a long shot for the playoffs, even if they win today. But, you know, it's basically unthinkable if they lose today. So, you know, got to try to win. That's my philosophy. Like, you know, I don't really care that much about draft positioning because I don't know if I entirely trust the Bengals to draft good players anyway. So I don't know if I care that much about draft positioning. I want to win. I don't give a shit what it does to our draft position. No tanking here. Josh Allen dancing around the pocket, throws, and that's caught. I think he was out of bounds, though. They're saying he caught it. I don't know about that. I mean, it was a good catch. It was definitely a good securing of the ball, but it looked to me like he didn't get both feet in bounds. But we're not even getting a replay, so I guess I just don't get. I guess I don't even get to see. Bengals didn't challenge it, so that must be the case. Oh my God, this defense is just letting the Bills absolutely run through them right now. That's going to be another first down after a handoff to Dalton Kincaid. Jim, so you're saying the Bengals have no chance? They have a chance with a touchdown now, not likely, but Bengals don't either as far as the playoffs. No, we have a chance. He was out. I thought he was out. I don't understand why the Bengals didn't challenge it. They have one more challenge. Josh Allen throws, and that's almost intercepted by Jordan Battle. That would have been a tough catch because, like, I think it was Dalton Kincaid who the ball was intended for. I think he managed to get his hands on that one. But, you know, Jordan Battle almost able to come up with that one. Unfortunately not. Dalton Kincaid's looking for pass interference, but it's not. I mean, like, Jordan Battle was clearly going for the ball there. BS call. He came down out. That's what I thought I saw, stranger, but they didn't even challenge it. They didn't even replay it, so I don't know. Josh Allen getting rushed, and they completely every single Bengals player whiffs on the rush, and they let him rush down 40 yards for a fucking touchdown. I hate this defense, dude. I hate this defense. Even if we do make the playoffs, man, like, I really struggle to imagine that we're going to do anything when we get there with this defense. Offense is going to have to score 40 points a fucking game for me to really feel super great about it. I hate this defense, man. Now, don't get me wrong, Josh Allen, if anybody's going to do that to you, Josh Allen's one of the, least embarrassing quarterbacks in the NFL to have that happen against. But damn, man, you just... extra point is up, and I think he almost missed that, but he didn't. So the Bengals' lead is once again reduced to 3. Offense is going to once again have to get a score for you to feel good about it. Bengals could still lose this game after that Bills touchdown run. Yeah, Jim, they could lose after a lot of things. You're like a broken record at this point, man. Uncalled holding too. Yeah, there's been a lot of uncalled holding today. But holding's one of those things where like it gets missed all the time, so you can't really bitch too much about it. I mean, you can, but there's probably lots of things where the Bengals didn't get called for what should have been a holding call. I'm guessing. So, Jaguars up 31-13 on the Colts. Seahawks up 36-9 on the Falcons. Titans up 21-17 on the Browns. Let's go Titans. Vikings up 31-0 on the Commanders. They're having a good game there. And J.J. McCarthy for, not having a phenomenal game, having an efficient game, though. I mean, it hasn't thrown for a lot of yards, but 3 touchdowns, no interceptions, and completed 15 of his 22 passing yards. So what that's actually saying to me is that the Vikings receivers are not getting a whole lot of yards after the catch. So... Vikings definitely having a really good game against a bad Washington team, so that's good for them. But you want to talk about teams that are definitely not making the playoffs. It's the Vikings. Bengals have the same record as the Vikings, and there's a good chance they'll both have the same record after this game. But that's the difference between being in the AFC North this year and being in the NFC North this year. Is the NFC North has 3 really good football teams all competing for the division title. Whereas the AFC North has 3 not good football teams competing for the division title. One of which is that 4-8 Bengals team. So, yep, that's the difference of what division you're in, and also conference. Because I think the Bengals could potentially, if they went out the whole rest of the season, they could make the playoffs at 9-8, and that would be probably less likely than winning the division. But that could happen, right? Now, I don't even know what the playoff picture looks like right now, but it's possible, I think, that they could make the wild card round at 9-8. Let's see. All right. So the kick is away. Bengals still holding on to a 3-point lead. Going to need some offense on this drive. Bengals get the ball out to about the 33-yard line where Joe Burrow and the Bengals will have a chance to get another thing going on offense. Okay, so right now, the 7th seed in the NFL is the Colts at 10-6. So actually, as I said that, I think I have now contradicted myself. The wild card is now officially inaccessible. Oh wait, no, I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay, so the Bills actually are the. So you never know. Noah Fant, nice, and hurdles the man after picking up the first down. So that's going to be about 14, 15 yards. So yeah, the Bills are actually the 7th seed right now. If the Bengals beat them, let's see, who's the 8th seed? The Texans? Who are the Texans playing this week? The Chiefs. Ooh. So if the Texans beat the Chiefs, then the Texans take over the 7th seed and the Bills are out of the playoffs, interestingly enough. So it is possible to make the wild card at 9-8. Probably highly unlikely, though, because Hold on. Handoff, Chase Brown. He spins out of one tackle only to get about an extra yard. So it's about 3-yard gain on the play. Okay, so the Bills are the 7th seed at 8-4. So you're going to have to at least overcome a team that they're 4 games behind the wild card with 5 games left to play. So one team would basically have to lose out. You might be able to win a tiebreaker with one of those teams. I don't know. But basically you're going to have somebody lose all of the rest of their games who's in the hunt for that, right? So the division really is the path. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap. He's going to throw, caught, high, but nice breaking of the tackle by Jamar Chase, and he picks up a first down after that. There is a flag on the play. What's the flag? What is the flag? It'd be really nice if it was on the Bills. With 5:55 left to go, if the Bengals get a touchdown on this drive. Illegal hands to the face on the Bills. There you go. If the Bengals do indeed get a touchdown on this drive with 5:55 left to go, you're feeling not completely done. Not completely like, oh yeah, we're going to definitely win this game. But if the Bengals get a touchdown on this drive, then, with probably less than 5 minutes left to play when that happens, you're feeling pretty fucking good. And it was on Larry Ogunjobi, by the way. So I was talking about missing him being on the Bengals, but clearly that was not a good play. All right, Joe Burrow's under center. Bengals are at least in field goal range now, so that's good. It's picked and returned, and it's gonna be a touchdown for the Bills. Are you fucking kidding me? No! That was batted out of the air and returned for a touchdown by Benford, the rushing linebacker, I believe. And the only good news out of that is that the Bills are only going to go up by 4 or whatever, and the Bengals offense can still clock and win the game. But that is an absolutely gut-wrenchingly bad play for the Bengals. Oh my God, that's just completely. That's devastating. That's devastating. And there's nobody to really blame. That was just an amazing play by Benford there, man. God. That was just an amazing play by Benford there. Hard to really point at anybody on the Bengals offense and be like, how could you do that? Yep, just a phenomenal play by Benford. Just absolutely incredible play to jump that and maybe you could argue Joe Burrow don't throw that ball, maybe pump fake. But other than saying he should have pump faked, other than that, there's just nothing you can do if you're the Bengals. Bengals were listed as in the hunt. Well, if they can win this game, they are. The 4-8 record. Look, it's not like your 4-8 record, Jim. It's different. Our 4-8 record's a little bit different than your 4-8 record. Now, if we can't win this ball game, yeah, we're kind of fucked. But all right, kick is up. It's good. Damn, man. We were so in control of this game for the most part, and that's just a backbreaker. Offense has got to. Luckily, we got Joe Burrow on the other side, and if there's anybody who can shake off a play like that, it's Joey B. But oh my God, that is gut-wrenching. That is gut-wrenching. If that's the last score of this ball game, then that's probably the play that ends our playoff hopes, I mean, unless the Steelers and Ravens both completely and utterly collapse the rest of the season. Probably unlikely, but you never know. What a play by Benford, though. I can't even be mad at anybody on the Bengals, other than maybe the defense for, generally kind of not, like playing good at times, but also playing bad. I don't know. It's been an up and down game from the defense, so I can't even really get that mad at the defense today. Just Benford, damn, man. It's just that's just Benford. It's like when Brandon Stokely got that touchdown against when we were playing the Broncos back in 09 or something, 06 it might have been. That was like the Brandon Stokely play right there. That was, I mean, maybe you could argue like Leon Hall. That might even be less concerning than the Brandon Stokely play, because at least the Brandon Stokely play was, you could point out, like Leon Hall's got to, really just knock that ball down. Don't worry so much about intercepting it. Guys got to tackle him, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. This play was just like Joe Burrow had a guy open, tried to throw it, but Christian Benford made one of the greatest plays I've ever seen from a defensive lineman, or he's a linebacker, I think, but either way, that's 100% Benford, man. Joe Burrow, shotgun snap, and it's batted away and intercepted again. Are you fucking kidding me? Well, so much for this game. Wow. Is that really the way our season's going to end? Is that it? Is that the way our season's really going to end? We're in control of this game for almost the entire game, and then out of nowhere, 2 batted passes get intercepted in the unlikeliest of ways. Holy shit. I'm just that was actually Joe Burrow just hit I know that wasn't that was batted out of the air. Okay, yeah, no, that was, god damn. I'm just speechless. Like, I think it was more likely defense lets James Cook rush for a first down. I don't even care about the defense because they're just garbage. I think that series of 2 back-to-back plays where Joe Burrow throws interceptions. There's a flag on the play, by the way. Joe Burrow throws 2 interceptions in a row. It's holding on the Bills. That's coming back. Joe Burrow throws 2 interceptions in a row, that neither of which are his fault at all. Maybe you could argue the second one. I mean, in both cases, maybe you can argue he can be a little bit better about not getting his ball knocked down by a lineman or something. But 2 plays in a row. How does that even happen? That doesn't happen to anybody on the planet except the Bengals. That's the most Bengals thing to ever happen. Like, man, I don't even have any analysis for that. That's just like, how does that even fucking happen? I don't even know what to tell you, man. Jamar fucking quit on the rundown? What do you mean quit on the rundown? What was he going to do? What was he going to do? He wasn't going to tackle the guy. He wasn't in position. The Bengals team looks playoff ready. Dude, Jim, that was not... That's just the Bills being more playoff ready than... That's 100% the Bills. That's not the Bengals at all. Like, that's just completely, sheerly, utterly... There's nothing the Bengals can do about that. That's just completely... Maybe you can say our luck isn't ready for the playoffs, but that's... there's nothing you can do about that. Like, I'm not even... It sucks, but I can't even be that mad at the Bengals right now. Maybe I can be mad at the defense for, blowing some really big opportunities in this game to, this could be more of like, the Bills getting their way back into the game rather than being in complete control of the game out of nowhere because of the way the defense has played at times during this game. But yeah, man, like, we need a Steelers-Ravens tie. Be cool. Stone, I think, down. Yeah, I think I did see Geno Stone was hurt. Hopefully he's okay. Wow. I'm stunned. I'm just honestly, I've never seen that happen before. I've never seen anything like that happen before. The closest thing I can think of is the Brandon Stokely touchdown, but that might even be worse because it's not like the Bengals whiffed on anything. It's just that the Bills just completely obliterated us into oblivion on a couple plays. Josh Allen in the backfield, and oh God, gets it to Dawson Knox, and the defense, yep. So, yeah, I can still be mad at the defense. I can still be mad at the defense for being garbage because, like, we wouldn't be in this position if the defense was in any way remotely competent at life. I mean, if the Bills get a touchdown here, I think we're in, like, I mean, we did it against the Bears. we did, well, almost. Then we choked at the end, but we almost did it against the Bears. So, I mean, it's like, technically the game isn't over, but I cannot believe that just happened. Ravens, I think, got a touchdown, and they're pulling close against the Steelers. Allen hands the ball off. James Cook gets almost all of the yards because nobody can fucking tackle. Geno Stone's back on the field, so at least as far as his health goes, that's good. I think he should be benched for just being a garbage player, though. First and goal, it's overs. Bills win it. No, they didn't win it, Jim. It's not over. Like it feels over, but I mean, if the Bengals defense can hold them to a field goal, which I'm not banking on, but if we can hold them to a field goal, then, you know, we do have 2 timeouts left and the offense can win it with a touchdown, but oh man. My phone's blowing up. All right, and they stopped James Cook on that play for about a yard. Yeah, my dad's right there with me. Like, if you're mad at anybody, you're mad at the defense. Like, you know, the offense pretty much did their job today. Like, you know, 2 crazy-ass plays at the end. Absolutely nuts. But, like, the defense, like, good Lord. Like, yeah, they looked a little better today at times than they did during that awful stretch they had. But, like, you still can't rely on them, you know? They hold them to a field goal here, then that's great. But I don't believe that that's going to happen. Do you? I don't. Yeah, they did it against the Bears. Who cares? The Bears are a young football team that's prone to making mistakes. The Bills are and it's not that the Bills don't make mistakes, but, you know, the Bills are a much more, like, established football team. You can't just bet on them making a big mistake, you know? Good Lord, like a turnover that turns into a defensive touchdown would be absolutely brutally huge right now, but it's not going to happen. It's going to be a handoff. Josh Allen's actually going to keep it, so I got faked out. And no, okay. He's going to throw it, and it's caught. I think he's out of bounds, though. Bills celebrate. Oh, they did call it a touchdown. What? I want to see that replay. That looked like he was out of bounds to me. Oh, no. Yeah. No, he didn't catch that. He did not catch that until after he was out of bounds. That is not a touchdown. That is not a touchdown. That is not a touchdown. That he didn't secure that ball until after he was out of bounds. He was clearly out of bounds when he secured that ball. It's incomplete. That's what I thought. That is what I thought. All right, and the Bills going to have to, I think, settle for a field goal. Although they could go for it, but I mean, if I'm the Bills, I'm taking the field goal here because you don't want the Bengals to send this to overtime. Like, you do not. You just want to take the momentum and run with it, right? They're sending Josh Allen out on the field. I don't know if I agree with this move by Sean McDermott. Then again, it's the Bengals defense, so you never. Maybe it's a good bet to take. I don't know. I cannot believe that we're losing this football game right now, guys. I cannot believe it. Like, 4th and goal from the 3-yard line. Bengals defense, they've done it before. It's going to be a snap. Josh Allen has got all day to throw. Throws, caught, wide open. That's pretty much it. Defense can't get lucky all day, man. Like, you got to actually play defense for once. Like, you got to actually get out there and play some actual fucking defense. And not just, like, rely on turnovers and rely on being fucking garbage. Or rely on, somehow not being garbage. Like, this is completely, this is absolutely abysmal. Like, don't get me wrong, I've got those 2 crazy-ass interceptions stuck in my head, yes. But at the same time, this defense can't stop a fucking nosebleed unless they get a turnover. Especially when it matters. Are the Bengals eliminated with a loss? No, they're not. they're not. We can make the playoffs at 8 and 9. Kick is up, it's good. Bengals down by 11 now, when 2 game minutes ago we were up by 7. Or I'm sorry, we were up by like 4. But point being, this is just absolutely fucking I don't yes, it's horrible luck for what happened on offense. I don't blame anybody on offense for what happened. It's just it sucks that kind of thing happens. And the you cannot rely on the defense for anything. This is the most absolutely pathetic defense I've ever seen when the game's on the line. I know that the offense gave up a touchdown, but the Bills have 39 points right now, right? You take off that one defensive touchdown, the defense still gave up 32 points to a Bills team that has barely crossed 30 points all season. A Bills team where there's a lot of talk about maybe Joe Brady needs to get fired because their offense has just been underperforming all year. And you let them put up the offense, even with the 2 turnovers at the end of the game, still, probably not going to put up over 30. Well, maybe. I don't know. Maybe they get a touchdown here. The Bills probably just give it to them. In fact, I would almost be willing to bet the Bengals end up getting a touchdown on this upcoming drive. But the problem is we need 2 touchdowns to win the game, so barring an onside kick, it's pretty much over. But the offense did their job, man. Yeah, the 2 turnovers suck, but the offense did their job. And they're not perfect, and crazy things happen sometimes. But the offense did their fucking job. And the defense just cannot get anything done when the game's on the line. Yeah, at times here and there, they'll get some turnovers. And, they'll knock the ball out. And it's like, oh, hey, look, a big opportunity. And that's great and all. But when it comes down to crunch time, when it really matters, it's a completely different football team. It's a completely different football game. And this defense always this is the 3rd game. This is the 3rd game. It's probably more than that. Where, with the game on the line, they've completely blown it. Mike Gesicki with a huge catch down the middle. And, like I said, the Bengals probably going to get a touchdown on this drive. Bills playing soft here because they don't really care. The Bengals can get a touchdown, and it really doesn't matter because the Bengals need an onside kick to win the game. I think. It's still, we're still before the 2-minute warning. So if we can get a touchdown before the 2-minute warning, then that helps. But, Mike Gesicki gets targeted again, picks up about 4 yards, does get out of bounds, so that stops the clock. Said to say the offensive and defensive gaffes led to the game being choked away. The Bengals had little hope even if they won. I know, but, you still pain, yeah. But you still, want to try to win, even if you don't have much hope. You still go out there and you try, you do what you can. Maybe try to build some momentum for next year, if anything. And that would have worked last year if Joe Burrow didn't get hurt this year. Joe Burrow throws, caught. Oh no, dropped by Chase Brown. It was Joe Burrow had him in the end zone, but that was great coverage by Lewis there. Damn. Every down is 4 downs. Field goal doesn't help you a bit. I guess you could go for a field goal and then, a field goal, a touchdown and a 2-point conversion plus a field goal ties the game, right? I guess maybe you go for the field goal. That way you could preserve the time. give yourself some sort of chance on offense. Maybe actually that would be the move. Joe Burrow throws it up. Got T. Higgins, and it's caught! Touchdown! There you go. And obviously, whatever. But, this is what I'm talking about. The offense does their job. You know what? Like, yeah, the turnovers suck. The two turnovers, the back-to-back turnovers were backbreakers. But, like, I don't blame the offense for what happened. I don't really blame anybody on offense. Like, I saw somebody earlier was like, Jamar Chase. Jamar Chase, like, quit on the play, and, like, maybe he did. But, like, it's not Jamar Chase's fault that there was a turnover on that play regardless, and turnovers on back-to-back plays. And then I don't think Jamar Chase was stopping him anyway. So, Bengals going for the 2-point conversion attempt here, which, duh. Joe Burrow, shotgun formation. He's got a decently clean pocket, tries to step up and run, fumbles, and the Bills recover. And so that just means we didn't get the 2-point conversion. And so the Bengals are down 5 points. They need a onside kick, pretty much, because they only have one timeout. So even with the 2-minute warning, even with the 2-minute warning and like a perfect defensive drive, you're pretty unlikely to get anything going here. So, yeah, that sucks, but, the 2-point conversion was gravy. If we can get the 2-point conversion, great, but, like, the play that matters is the onside kick. And we did recover. Like, I mean, we've been kind of crazy with some of these end of game plays, right? Like if we had Joe Burrow against the Bears, then maybe we beat the Bears, right? I guess the good news is if we do happen to get an onside kick, we can really kind of milk the clock. And if we get in the end zone, which we've been doing a good job of today. And see, this is proof right here, by the way. The Bengals, 34 points of their own merit on offense. No defensive scores like making that score look bigger. 34 points of their own merit. And yeah, they gave away 7 points on a touchdown, which are on an interception, which is why they're losing. But either way, 34 points of their own merit. And defense had ample opportunities to hold the Bills to a field goal instead of allowing a touchdown. And, if it, Bengals could be like Bengals ended up kicking that ball off, so I guess they're going to try to trust the defense here, which I don't like. I think we've got a better chance of the offense or of getting an onside kick than we do of the defense getting a stop. I really do. But I mean, both are super low likelihood type of scenarios, but with the way the defense has played over the last 2.5 quarters, really, like they were slowing down in the second quarter. It's been a handoff, James Cook, and the Bengals give him about 4 yards, and that's kind of what I mean, right? Like that doesn't look like a hugely awesome play. It's going to take us to the 2-minute warning. It's going to be 2 minutes left. 2nd and 7 for the Bills. If the Bengals can hold them to third down, they'll probably take a timeout. And then the Bills, it seems so unlikely that the Bengals would even hold them to fourth down, especially after letting 4 yards go on the run. Yeah, that's the thing, Stranger. I trust special teams more than defense at the moment. And I trust a super low likelihood play, like offside, like onside kick, recovery. I trust that more than I trust this defense, And it sucks because like the defense is capable of doing this. The problem is I just like how often have they been able to get it done in clutch moments all season? The reason we're in this position is because the defense has not been able to really close this game out. The reason why that pick six, and then the subsequent immediate turnover after the fact, the reason why that made such a big impact in a game where the offense otherwise has been playing really well is because the defense has not closed this game out at all. Like, this should not be as close of a game as it is, but it stayed a super close game because of that. I hate to blame Al Golden, because I really feel like Al Golden basically got thrust into a situation where he basically had nothing to work with. But, like, at some point, you got to come up with a strategy that yields something that you can rely on ever. You know, maybe you're not going to have, like, you know, a top-tier defense or anything, but maybe you have a couple of plays that you know are going to get you some good results, or you have a couple of things here and there. The Bengals have been slowly putting together some semblance of that over the last couple of weeks, but you still can't rely on them. We thought maybe, you know, against the Patriots there was ability to rely on the defense the way that they played. And then they definitely did a good job against the Ravens, but as we can see, the Ravens are trash. Currently do have the ball at the Steelers' 13-yard line, though. So if they can get in the end zone, then they can win that game. And I will say, if there's any hope for the Bengals, the Ravens winning this football game is critical. Because it seems much more likely that the Ravens are going to continue to lose games than the Steelers. So the Steelers getting one loss here out of the way. That way the Steelers can fall to 6-7, and then the Bengals would be, I think 2 games behind the Ravens. Is that right? No, the Bengals would be 3 games behind the Ravens, but they could lose all those games. You know, Josh Allen gets sacked. Hey! Whoa! All right, still third down. Still gotta come through on third down here. 3rd and 15, and the clock is stopped. I don't know why the clock is stopped. I'm very confused. But the Bengals assaulted Josh Allen essentially, bringing him down on a big play. He actually never did go down. The Bengals took. Okay, so the Bengals taking their final timeout. Okay, For whatever reason in my head, they don't have any more timeouts, but yeah, they do have one more timeout because it's third down. I'm thinking that, you know, I don't know what I'm thinking. But anyway, 3rd and 15, and I mean, like, if you can get off the field here, then you got a chance for Joe Burrow to make a miracle happen. And there's anybody in the NFL I trust to get it done, it's probably Patrick Mahomes. But, like, Joe Burrow's up there. Like, as far as a situation like that. Like, that's the Joe Burrow magic, you know? And I will say it'd be so fucking appropriate for this game to finish with Joe Burrow throwing a pick 6 and feeling like it got blown, and then the defense continues to blow it, and then Joe Burrow gets it done on the last drive. That'd be an appropriate way for this game to end. Josh Allen's getting assaulted once again, but he manages to get past him. What are you doing? God, I hate this defense! They completely let him get... It's Josh Allen! How are you, like, letting him get loose like that? What on earth are you doing? God, cut every single person on this defense. I don't give a shit. I want them all gone. Garbage defense. Can't get anything. It's 3rd and 15 with the game on the line. What are you doing? I'm disgusted with this defense, man. I am absolutely disgusted. They tricked us into thinking they were good. Geno Stone taking absolutely horrendous angles on Josh Allen. They're just going to kneel the clock out at this point. Game's over. I'm fucking done with this defense, dude. I'm done. I'm done. I let him trick me into believing they were getting a little better. Not happening again. I'm done. I'm done with this defense. I hate to say it, but, like, you know, probably means Al Golden's gone too, and I don't think it's Al Golden's fault, but, like, what are you going to do? Like, what are you going to do? You got to at least have NFL football players better prepared to play than this. Fire Zach Taylor. I'm done. This is horrendous. How do you let that? You got to know Josh Allen is in the backfield itching for something like that to happen. Josh Allen wins that game 100 out of 100 times when you let him have a play like that. What are you doing? I'm done. I don't even care what happens in this Ravens-Steelers game now. I'm out of here, y'all. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to vent. I'll leave y'all, and it fills me with nothing but bile to say this, but I'll leave y'all as always